Your morning just got more interesting. Distilled and barrel-picked for your listening pleasure. Bo Bishop, a local sports media legend. What William T. Sherman was to the Union Army, he is to Northern College football. A husband, a father, and middling youth sports coach. He's friends with Central Ohio sporting royalty.
Talking to Ohio State Athletic Director Ross Bjorken. Coach Day walking on with us right now. Good to see you, buddy. Good buddy Austin Ward. My good buddy Tim May, the Tim May Show. The great Doug Lavery's joining us.
Hi, everybody. Dom Tiberi here.
Oh, Reese came in and he handed me papers.
Yeah,
and then he said, "You see that button? That's the only button you need to worry about. Don't touch. There's 8,000 buttons in front of me." Oh, I didn't know what he was talking about.
The one that says on.
We blew the budget on this imaging, and only two guys answered our ad on Craigslist. Ryan Baker and Eric Reeser. Act accordingly. You're now listening to Bishop and Friends.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for over 75 years.
All right, let's do it live on a First Friday Miracle edition of the program. Bo and the boys with you for the next three. Loaded up. Hey, guys, an hour earlier again this week. Normally at 11. We hit it at 10 to make way for two-a-days. Time to get your Hey Guys questions in. Winner there gets a $50 gift card to our great friends at High Bank. The free distillery tour as well. Up to 10 on that. Time to get those questions in. Jake Troder is going to join us at 10:30. We are, 17 days from Ohio State, Texas, inching closer and closer. Get some perspective from the ESPN college football expert at 10:30, 11 o'clock. As I mentioned, two-a-days, we are on the Giants and the Cowboys as we close out the NFC East and in turn close out the NFC. We'll put the NFC in the rear view, get your officially endorsed coming up at 11:48. So I started getting wind of this story, I think it was yesterday when I first started seeing it pop. And then it really popped. And the story I'm referring to is Oklahoma transfer quarterback John Matir and his Venmo. So if you haven't heard of this story, if you haven't heard of John Matir, I get that too. Although if you were listening during 20 Most Interesting, you do. He was probably, I don't feel like this is an overstatement. I think he was the most coveted player in the portal. I think that's fair because he was the quarterback. He's damn good at Washington State a year ago. Oklahoma needed it in the worst way. They needed a big bump at the position in a year that is critical for Brent Venables. And so they went and got him. And so he was great at Washington State. He's part of the reason that I'm so high on Oklahoma this year. I know their schedule is very tough, but I want to say their over-under number was at like 7.5 or something like that. And to me, it feels like they'll go well through that. I really like this Oklahoma team a lot, despite a pretty challenging schedule. But this popped on Monday. And it was images from 2022, and it's hard, right? Because we live in a world where things can be faked so easily with AI, and it's so easy to make things look real. But you start to see these images, and so on these images were transactions. It's a Venmo transaction, and it's John Matir paid. I'm just going to read some of these. John Matir paid Richard Roten on November 20th, 2022, and on Venmo, if you have it, or if you don't, I'll explain very quickly. Transfer of funds via your phone, via an app, and you can put what it's for. So he wrote on November 20th, 2022, sports gambling, UCLA versus USC. He sent another one to Richard Roten, again on that same day, sports gambling. And there's a bunch of these, right? So to the point where you're like, okay, that's an attention getter that would be happening. And obviously that's something that is frowned upon. You don't want your athletes gambling in sports, although this is something we've dealt with really all summer, and there will be more and more of this as we go along, because this was something that for the longest time was very difficult to do. You know, you had to get a bookie and you had to do these type of things. And now it's an app. It's all very, very easily done. And so this started to get momentum, but you didn't know if it was real or not. And then it got really real yesterday when John Matir put out a statement. And the statement reads, "The allegations that I once participated in sports gambling are false. My previous Venmo descriptions did not accurately portray the transactions in question, but were instead inside jokes between me and my friends. I have never been on sports. I understand the seriousness of the matter, but recognize that taken out of context, those Venmo descriptions suggest otherwise. I can assure my teammates, coaches, and officials at the NCAA that I have not engaged in any sports gambling." OU Athletics issued a statement takes any allegation of gambling seriously, works closely with the NCAA in any situation or concern, unaware of any NCAA investigation, no reason to believe there is one pending. So whether you believe him or not on this, my hunch is this would be very difficult to prove whether he did this or not. And I don't quite honestly know if the NCAA, whoever's trying to administer any sort of punishment on anything, has the stomach to start looking into this stuff. Do I believe him? No, I don't. My hunch is he did bet on UCLA and USC. Is it a big deal to me? No, it's not. It's not a big deal to me. I can understand how it could be a big deal to some people. I've always thought that it's kind of a talking out of both sides of your mouth. It's especially that way on the pro level where you have betting parlors in the stadium, but at the same time, you can't bet even on something that isn't, for example, like what happened with J-Mo, right? With the Lions, how he was betting basketball in the building. Well, you can't bet anything in an NFL facility. So everybody kind of knows that you can't do these things, but I just assume all of this happens. So then, fast forward to last night, images of Arch Manning's Venmo comes out. And his Venmo is then shut down and made private. And his had nothing to do with sports gambling, but it was various ways of describing what the transactions were that were meant to be funny, probably, for the person who was receiving the Venmo, right? But then it got out. And again, his has nothing to do with sports gambling. It's a little bit of off-color stuff that he was Venmoing, according to these images. There's two separate conversations to be had here. One around sports gambling and how it has become massively mainstream, something that a decade ago was very difficult to do if you weren't actually in Las Vegas. And now a decade later, here we go. You can do almost anything you want, anywhere you want. The other part of it is, and this is the part that hits home for me, is the father of a 13-year-old. These kids have no idea what they're doing with these phones. They have no idea the consequences that could come down the road. They have no idea what a like or a comment or an idiot friend typing something or them jumping onto something. My Beamsy's got green light on his phone to pay for stuff around school, right? Pay for lunch or whatever. It got hacked Saturday, and somebody bought something from Amazon off of it. Like, he's 11. He's not equipped to deal with this. And these guys have grown up in this world where everything is on these phones, and they trust all of it, and they probably shouldn't trust any of it. And I'm guessing you're going to see many more stories like this because all of this stuff is there to be had. And so there really are two different conversations here. One around how do you avoid the sports gambling that is, if you're an athlete, that is just completely permeated life in America now. And then the other part of it is, how do you teach a kid, and these guys are still relatively kids when a lot of this stuff is happening with Venmo and a lot of this stuff, how do you make sure that they know how to navigate these waters? And if you have the answer for it, by all means tell me, because I don't know. I'm doing the best I can with mine, and they're still a ways off from this type of age, but I've had conversations with all of them about what they like, what they comment on, who they follow. All of that stuff can be tracked. It's a scary time, man. And this story with John Matir kind of hit on a lot of different levels with it, fellas.
Yeah, that was interesting when Oklahoma came out with a statement saying they were looking into it and they were made aware, because I thought at first that it was just a Texas fan trolling, which would have made all the sense in the world in 2025. I do find it interesting all the time when athletes say it was taken out of context, because my retort is, well, put it in the proper context. Like, if these were inside jokes, maybe explain it, just to put Oklahoma fans at ease. Because the last thing I'm sure they want or need is the NCAA or the College Sports Commission poking around on this. No, they won't do anything about it. But you just don't need a thing like that hanging on as you go into a new season.
What are we looking at Venmos of kids from 3 years ago for? Like, this is just so crazy how there's like no privacy anymore. Also, was John Matir in college at this time? Could he have been in high school then? And who gives a rip?
Yeah, that's where I am with it, even if he was. I mean, he's not betting on Washington State.
And I just like that, they looked at Julian Sayans, and his says Minions movie. As Mike and Timmy would say, we got us a good, clean boy here at Ohio State.
Yeah, he was a freshman at Washington State in 2022.
Yeah. I don't know.
It's stupid, but this is where we are.
Yeah, and there is a lesson here for the parents. There's two lessons. There's the sports gambling part of it, and then there's also that if you are raising a kid now, and I've got 3 that I know of. I know you guys have none that you know of, but the reality is that you are raising kids. You have to raise them in a world where this is what I tell the boys. Assume that everything that you do on your phone is public. Just assume that. And that's a terrifying thing, I'm sure, for a lot of you even out there listening. But just assume that everything on your phone is public. And if you do that, you should be okay. But that's kind of the way that we have to operate, I think, now.
Bo, not that anybody is looking into all of our Venmos, but I feel like now I want to put the most ridiculous things ever for every Venmo comment ever, like clown circus and just all kinds of ridiculous midget wrestling and all kinds of things.
One thing after another, right? Yeah. And I think that's probably what Arch was doing with his, and maybe that is what Matir was doing here, but maybe he was betting, who knows? But the reality is something that both of those guys thought was private wasn't. And now it's all out there, and it gives you something to think about for sure. Loaded up here, off and running on a First Friday, Bishop and Friends, right here on The Fan.
We're the highest rated sports radio station in America. There's no joke there. We just are. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Keep your summer fun going in the family-sized Toyota Highlander or the bigger, more powerful Grand Highlander with 3 different powertrains and a full-size third row. Now through September 2nd, get a new 25 Highlander or Grand Highlander with 4.99 APR financing or 5.99 on new Highlander and Grand Highlander hybrids. Subject to approved credit through TFS. Plus, get 2 years no-cost maintenance included. For complete details, go to Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Hey, it's Leslie from Pella Columbus.
And I'm Wilson from that other window place.
Wilson, I just had the greatest day today. One of our customers in Delaware literally happy cried. Her new windows just completely transformed her home. It was just magical.
Oh, so you like magic.
Well, that's not what I was saying.
Is this your card?
Wilson, you didn't even... Okay, sure. That was my card.
And magic.
Get the windows that can change the look and feel of your home at PellaColumbus.com.
CME wants to beat your bike or boat loan rate by 1.5% APR. Enjoy no payments for 90 days, low rates, and terms up to 84 months. Take the summer off and ride easy with CME. Terms and conditions apply. Minimum floor rate of 6.25% APR. Federally insured by NCAA. Visit CMEFCU.org for additional details.
Got one of those days that never stops? Try a stop at Speedway. Refresh your fuel tank, refresh your U-tank with 69-cent large Big Gulp drinks. And refresh the vibe for any drive. Refresh at Speedway with 69-cent large Big Gulp drinks with Speedy Rewards and try exclusive Mountain Dew Infinite Swirl flavor for a limited time only. The convenience stores of Speedway. Valid through 8/26/25. See app for full terms.
Hi, I'm Dr. John Runyon from Runyon Dental Group. Are you missing teeth or do you have uncomfortable dentures? Dental implants can not only transform your smile, they can restore your confidence and allow you to eat those foods you love that you've been missing. When I was in my early 30s, I was in a similar situation needing complex dental work and dental implants. I understand all the emotions that you're feeling because I've been the patient and I know that we can help you. Schedule a free consultation today at runyondentalgroup.com. That's runyondentalgroup.com.
At Kroger, you never compromise. You get high quality and low prices. Like you never compromise your meal with our spring salad mix that's guaranteed fresh. And you never compromise your budget with lower prices on over 1,000 items. Hand it to Kroger shoppers. You never compromise. Kroger. Fresh for everyone.
Check out this great deal on fresh grapes. Red, green, or black seedless grapes are only $1.77 a pound with your card. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Delaware County Veterans Services is ready to help you access VA benefits, emergency financial assistance, dental and medical grants, transportation, and more. Give Delaware County Veterans Services a call, 740-833-2010 to schedule an appointment.
What's the best way to make sure you don't miss any of your favorite fan shows? Oh no. Download the Fan app, silly.
Ah, damn it, I knew that.
App Store, Google Play, or just scream right at your phone. Psst, you can also listen to Buckeye games. Do it now.
Now is a great time to schedule a back-to-school dental appointment. Dr. Hal Jeter, president of the Ohio Dental Association, is here to tell us more.
Your child's teeth and gums need the right food, nutrition, and vitamins to grow strong and stay healthy. Help them maintain good oral health by brushing every morning and night, flossing, visiting the dentist twice a year, and developing good eating habits. As kids head back to school, it's important to know that foods and drinks high in sugar, acidity, and other cavity-promoting substances are often low in nutritional value, and they have the potential to create plaque capable of damaging tooth enamel. A back-to-school dental appointment can diagnose any potential problems and improve your child's oral health. Ohio Dental Association member dentists are located throughout the state, are dedicated to providing the highest quality dental care, are bound by the highest ethical standards, and obtain superior ongoing education and training. Ask if your dentist is a member of the Ohio Dental Association so you know you are being treated by the best. To find an ODA dentist in your area, visit ODA.org.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Have the umbrella handy by the time the kids are getting out of school or you're getting out of work. We are going to see chances of scattered showers and thunderstorms, some which could have heavy downpours and gusty winds. Otherwise, skies will be mostly to partly cloudy with highs in the upper 80s. For tonight, those chances of rain taper off overnight with our lows down into the 70s. Otherwise, skies will be partly sunny and highs in the upper 80s. For The Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfalo with your 10 weather impact forecast.
Common man, a radio veteran, has a large hemorrhoid. Timmy Hall, a good, clean boy, moonlights as man's hemorrhoid. Common Man and Timmy.
Weekdays at 3.
The Fan. The final season of Yellowstone might just be Bo's dad live on YouTube. What's the difference anyway? This is Bishop and Friends.
I guess I didn't ask you guys. Do you believe Matir? Doesn't matter, I guess.
Doesn't matter, but I don't.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, I think he probably was.
Made a wager with a friend.
I did see that No Dream on the YouTube chat said kids put the wildest things in those comments on Venmo. I guess it's something that kids do.
Adults put the wildest things on Venmo.
I didn't even know. Like, I just recently got Venmo in like the last year. Yeah. I still used PayPal until up to like the last year, so I don't know all this stuff. I hate all of this stuff.
I mean, it's a place where a lot of people make fantasy football exchanges. You know, you got to buy in for a league or payments from wins for a fantasy football league. So a lot of times this time of the year, that's what your Venmo's taken up. And do I believe that as a freshman he made a wager on, I think it was USC, UCLA was the phrasing, and then that day or I guess that year, there was that game when he made that post, and he made a payment about it, but can't do it. So it's a lesson in what you said earlier, like don't assume everybody can see what you're doing.
Yeah.
It's media literacy.
Do you guys remember when... This certainly Bake has a better chance probably than you, Reese, because I think you have to be a certain age, and you're close. So maybe this crossover with you. Do you guys remember when, like in movies, anytime somebody had money, they wanted to take it to the Caymans? You got to go to the Caymans. That's where you put the money. The Cayman banks. That was
like a tax shelter.
Yeah. You go to the Caymans.
Some kind of Swiss overseas account.
Everyone was going to Swiss, or they're trying to get to the Caymans or whatever. My wife views her Venmo as a Swiss bank account or a secret bank account in the Caymans. She uses it to hide transactions from me on the reg. Routinely. There is stuff going on, and I don't have a clue what's going on in there. No clue. She's like, oh, yeah, I just Venmoed this. Just have him Venmo me. No idea. I don't know what's going on in there. Could be anything. That's how she operates. Now, I'm you, Bake. I'm like you. I had a buddy of mine pick me up a bottle of Midwinter's Night Dram, the High West whiskey, which is a great one. Found one on Long Island in La Crosse, hell, over the summer, and he's like, do you want one? He gets 165, and I said, yeah, I'll pick that. I'll take that from you. And so he picked one up for me, and my wife's like, why don't you just Venmo him? And I said, because I'm going to give him cash. I want the transaction to have the cash transaction. I want that old school feeling. I feel like if I give it to a Venmo, it'll end up paying for, some sort of youth clinic or some nonsense like that. Like if he has the cash, then it's going to go to tips. It's going to go to those type of things. I'm a cash guy. That's what I want to do. She's like, you're an idiot. Probably. I might be. That's very possibly true. But I don't like this stuff, man. I don't like this, but this is the world we live in. both my oldest two have the green light, which is essentially this. It's a
Cash app too.
Yeah, we put money into it. Yeah, right. And then they spend it, and then you're like, well, what? The line they'll give me a lot of times, I'm like, well, who paid for that? Oh, I did. With what? My green light. Oh, so I did. You're the intermediary between the money and the thing, but it's coming through me, so I'm the one who fills that thing up. And you're right, they do put crazy things in there. They do, and I think that's what got Arch. I mean, because I'm sure his was real too, because he made it private. I don't know how it wasn't private to begin with.
I just don't think you think about that sort of stuff.
I don't understand why this stuff is accessible. Like, why is anything that you put in your money transactions accessible to people? Like, I know everything's accessible. I get it, but this is ridiculous.
It is. It is. It's the world we're in, though, man. And it's a difficult one. I don't know how you do it. I got a buddy of mine's got kid getting recruited.
I don't know how you do it.
Well, I don't either. I don't know that I'm doing it right. I mean, I'm doing the best I can with these kids, but the amount of conversations that I've had, and I think because what we do, I become certainly 10 years ago when all of this started, well, more than that, 15 years ago when this all started to go, all the social media, all of this stuff, and we were all trying to figure out at the same time, we did have a pretty good understanding within the first couple of years that it was basically a permanent record of all of your thoughts. And in the beginning, it was pretty willy-nilly, right? Like just, oh, I like this, comment. Like some people would even cuss like on Twitter or whatever to like seem hard or whatever. And people do all these things. But what you don't realize, and every intern that I've had since, I've said, look, go through your social media because any future employer is going to. Mm-hmm. And you're held accountable. I don't know if it's fair. I don't think it is to be held accountable to something that you did 7 years ago. But that's kind of where we are. It's not fair, but that's the reality of this thing.
This goes back to my old motto, Bo. If you don't want to get caught, always pay cash. No pictures, no video, no text messages. Deny, deny, deny.
Yeah. One of the most successful guys I ever met once told me, if you have a secret, don't tell anybody. Mm-hmm. Right?
But where's the fun in that?
Pretty good. Pretty good. That's undefeated. Telling nobody is undefeated. So I hope nothing comes of this for Matir. I don't know how they would ever begin to prove it. I hope they just take him at his word and we move along and it's done.
Well, by the time they prove anything with an NCAA investigation, he'll be in his third year in the league, so we'll be good.
You're right. Yeah, you're right. They're slow. There's do you see this other story that's going on with the South Carolina running back? I think his name is Rasul Faison. He's 25 years old, graduated high school in 18. He's bounced around at all sorts of JUCOs and had all sorts of things. Finally was at Utah State. He's been at South Carolina since he was in the portal, came to South Carolina. He's going to be their starting tailback. And the NCAA still hasn't. It's a lot like the Diego Pavia thing where they delayed the quarterback at Vandy. And he's not cleared yet. And they play in 2 weeks. Like, what is taking so long on this stuff? So you're right. Even if they do investigate, it's hard to imagine that they could get anything done in any sort of timely manner.
If you're Shane Beamer, would you just play him?
I would.
And just say, do something about it, please. Because if they go on a run and they're successful enough to make the college football playoff, that falls out of the NCAA purview anyway.
We have 10 years now of attitude change towards the NCAA. It started with North Carolina basketball, Miami football, Kansas basketball. They all just said, yeah, prove it. Prove it. Us in Penn State said, oh, here, please, sir, not too harsh with the lashings, right? That's what we did. We volunteered it. We took it on, self-reported, all of it. After that, everybody said, yeah, prove it. You have no ability to investigate anything. Prove that we did anything wrong. And how could you ever prove this? So I hope that this is all done and over and we take him at his word and we move on and play some football. Couple of things around the sports world yesterday. Are your Guardians, they're just going to win the division, aren't they, Reese? I mean, they're really going to win it.
They'll get the wild card, but they might
I think they're tracking down the Tigers, Reese.
Well, when Detroit goes and loses to the Chicago White Sox, don't ever lose to the White Sox. I think that's the lesson that we all need to learn. Is don't lose to that team. They're terrible, and the Tigers have been sputtering for the last month. So Cleveland's now 5.5 back in the division. I mean, I guess with Jose Ramirez, anything's possible.
The gambling guards. You got to love them. Get on the train now, boys.
Well, the thing with it is they removed the two gamblers. Like, they've scrubbed Clase and Ortiz from that clubhouse. Again, I think we talked about this late last week, but that entire organization is doing, I think, everything it can to distance themselves from those two, and winning sure as hell helps with that.
Just think how good they'd be if they didn't have pitchers throwing games all year.
I mean, you'd probably be atop the division, Reese.
I don't know about it would go that far, but
best team in baseball.
I do think
20 wins.
If anything, like Clase and Ortiz, what they were betting on was them to be able to climb out of 0-1 holes. Like, they were betting so that they could throw a ball in the dirt and then they would rebound, because Clase especially probably, and he should consider himself one of the best in the game because he is.
Yeah.
Like, he won't play for the Guardians ever again, but another team will take a flyer on him when this all gets cleared up, or when they ever receive.
If he's allowed back in the league.
I don't think he's going to play for anybody again.
I don't know. I don't think Ortiz will, but Clase, there's a chance.
Dude, like Shoeless Joe.
Well,
I mean, Pete Rose.
Pete Rose, till the day he died.
I just don't think you're getting. I think any sniff of it, and they're going to snuff it out. I don't know if you'll ever play again. Is probably going to be the punishment on that. There is one specific part of the football field in a football program that if you're going to compete at the highest level, you have to be elite at. We're going to get into it in 2 minutes. Bishop and Friends, right here on The Fan.
Matty Ice here. Are you ready to rumble? Then get ready to roll on up to McDaniel GM Superstore in Marion. Right now, they're unleashing huge savings on the all-new 2025 Silverado 1500. We're talking about up to $13,000 off MSRP. Or if you need some serious muscle, get a 2025 Silverado HD for as low as 3.9% APR for qualified buyers. They're just a short drive north off Route 23 in Marion, or you can visit McDanielGMSuperstore.com. Chevrolet, together, let's drive.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Evan Cohen here. Whether you're locking in your home run picks or riding with your favorite golfers this summer, ESPN Bet is your sportsbook for all the action. Go from checking stats on your favorite teams and players to placing bets in just a few taps. Plus, new customers can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet app and sign up with promo code USL to get started today. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
The trash talk, the bad trade requests, the horrible reaches on draft picks. It's fantasy football time, and the ESPN Bet Sportsbook at Hollywood Casino Columbus is giving you a chance to hold your fantasy draft in a fantasy location. On August 24th, host your fantasy draft party at the ESPN Bet Sportsbook, which will include a $100 dining credit, draft board, and swag. Visit 971thefan.com and sign up for your fantasy draft party package. Must be 21 years or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER for help.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for over 75 years. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
What's up?
What's up, man? What's up with you?
Sponsored by Newman Roofing. For all your roofing, gutter, or siding needs, call Newman Roofing today at 614-NEW-ROOF or visit online at newmanroofing.com.
When Urban Meyer first got here in 2012, the very first priority that he set was to get the two lines of scrimmage up to speed. One of the big misconceptions of the 2000s was that you used to hear this all the time, SEC speed, SEC speed. It was not the speed, not on the perimeter. Ohio State had that in spades. Many teams had that. It was not that. It was the lines of scrimmage. It was an inability to not get bullied up front. If you go back to the 2007 national championship game against LSU, they manhandled us up front. If you go to the national championship game in 2006 against Florida, Teddy goes down on the opening kick, and after taking it to the house, everybody remembers that. But it was what happened up front, and it was Troy running for his life. Urban took note of all of that, and Tress was trying to take note of all of that, and eventually I think he probably would have. But Urban, that was the first thing he said, is we have got to be on their level up front. You go back to the 14 season, 15 national championship game against Oregon. The reason all of us who were at that game were so bullish on Ohio State's chances, and they were underdogs in that game, and a lot of people around the country thought this was going to be Oregon's special season, is because when you went to Media Day and you saw the line of scrimmage for Oregon, you compared it to Ohio State, you said, well, that's not holding up. They're not going to be able to block it. They're not going to be able to get pressure. You're going to be able to steamroll them. So it's the lines of scrimmage. That's it. That's what separates. If you think of Georgia's dominance in the early 2020s and the success that they had, it was in the lines of scrimmage that the dominance was. Alabama's dominance can be shaped back to that. So it starts there. It's the trench warfare that is going to be so critical to all of it. Ohio State has a lot of guys to replace on both sides, but they kind of got a baptism in fire last year with all of the injuries that happened. So all of these guys have played. These are names that you know on the offensive front. They're names that you know maybe to a lesser degree on the defensive front, but certainly on the offensive front, you know these guys. Tyler Bowen's in charge of it. There is depth. There is versatility in that group. Here he is on that.
I mean, you feel good about a number of guys. I don't want to put a number on it. There's guys competing. I don't think this week's going to be a big week in concerns like who's going to roll out there and who are the guys. I think that's going to be ever evolving. But I feel good about the versatility we have. But like you've got to, at some point we've got to be able to line up and say like, hey, I can trust a left tackle. I can trust a right tackle. I can trust a right guard. Like moving around's great, but we've got to start honing in now.
His path is wild to get here. I mean, you think of these guys for everybody who's got kind of a clean path to a place like Ohio State. I mean, this path of his, starting as a student assistant at Maryland in 2010, then he's at Towson, then at Penn State, Fordham, back to Maryland, back to Penn State again for a couple years. Then Urban hires him as a tight ends coach in Jacksonville. Then he's with Virginia Tech the last couple of years, and now he's finally here at Ohio State. But, I mean, you want to talk about paying your dues. The dues have been paid. In terms of starting spots, Bowen's saying the battles are still ongoing.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that it's, I think a lot of times we look at things very linear. I wouldn't say it's that linear, and that goes back to my first comment. There is some depth, and certainly those two guys are a part of it, but we got to start honing in on where guys can help us and play at an elite level. And those are just two examples. So I don't know if it's just, a battle between them. I think we've still got ever-evolving battles within the group with guys that can, play tackle, play guard. We can mix things around, but we got to figure out that combination of the best five pretty quick.
That's a very NFL mindset, right? Cross-training them, play guard, play tackle, and we've seen that a lot. We won't know until we see this, the lineup against Texas, but everything that you're hearing is that they're moving some guys around, and so that versatility will only help this group down the road. But I like this group a lot, and I think it's going to be one of the strengths of the team, and I think in a way, kind of a blessing in disguise what happened last year with all the injuries.
Especially with the quarterback, right? And having guys up front that can protect him. If a guy goes down, then someone else can slide into place. Like, they had to reshuffle that offensive line 5 times last season because there was the sickness before and during training camp. Donovan Jackson started the season dealing with some injuries. Then they lose Josh Simmons in the Oregon game. Then you lose Seth McLaughlin before you play Indiana. And right there, you're giving guys that, even Carson Hinsman, you'll hear from him in a second, but like the doghouse that he was in prior to that Cotton Bowl debacle, and then to climb out of that and earn himself not only a starting job, but an integral part of last year's offensive line, vaults into where he's at this year. And it was interesting to note at training camp for the Buckeyes last week. I know you could say this about a lot of people with in the Ohio State orbit, but Tyler Bowen strikes me as if smelling salts was a person.
Yeah.
Because, boy, he comes at you with a ton of energy. And he was getting into everybody at Ohio State's camp. Like, everybody that was, playing for an offensive line spot, he was in their face. He was yelling as about as loud as, and there's a lot of energy. And there's a lot of alphas with those Ohio State coaches. But Tyler Bowen's energy jumped out to me. And even when I asked Ryan Day about Matt Patricia and Brian Hartline, Coach Day was quick to throw in Tyler Bowen there, being that run game coordinator.
Tyler Bowen... And yesterday, hearing him speak was the first time I've heard him. Yeah. Like that, I want that guy coaching my offensive line. He sounds like a guy that's got a cut-off sleeveless flannel, a chew-in, that's drinking Natty Lights and flipping tires. on a tractor. Like, that's what I want out of my offensive linemen. Like, just get in there and get dirty and smack some people around.
Yeah, he checks the boxes, and really Justin Fry ended up being spectacular. He took a lot of heat early on in his tenure, but the way that he managed that last year with all of the injuries that we've talked about, and now he's coaching a couple of those guys. He's in Arizona coaching the offensive lines there. So it feels like they hit on this one. It feels like Ryan Day hit on it as well. You mentioned Hinsman. He was asked how it's different than the last 2 years. Here's what he had to say.
I feel like I'm a completely different player, completely different person, but, I've been blessed, like through all those, adverse times and through all those teachings and through all those hard times, I've really learned, a lot about myself, a lot about my playing ability, a lot about where I can go as a player and how much more growth I still have yet, because I still think I have, a really high ceiling for myself that I can reach, and every day we're trying to, raise that floor to there. And I think from 2 years ago to now, you could go on film and say, that's a completely different player.
The versatility, Austin Servold actually speaks to that a little bit because he's doing some work at left tackle and they're bouncing some guys around. Who knows what this will look like in 17 days when they play Texas. But here's Austin and the idea of working at left tackle a little bit.
Every day, build, keep second days. And every day I'm learning, trying to get better. If it's at left or right, nothing's final yet. So we're all repping our primary and then our secondary, so nothing's really final for us up front. But we just got to keep working, keep building, keep second days.
When you look at this team, doesn't this just look like a team that's going to live in the shotgun, 3 wide, take advantage down the seams with Max Clare, run off of it a little bit, but this just. When I look at this team and I look at the offensive line and what they're doing with it, it just screams that this is going to be a pass-happy, this is what we do best offense. I think last year we were going to bludgeon people to death with the 2 backs, Will running off of it. This, to me, feels like a pass-happy offense where we have all these advantages on the outside. We've never had a tight end room like this, never. Never. Not in my time. You got to go back. I don't know, Ricky Dudley? It's been a while since you've had one that's this good in terms of the depth and the talent with Claire at the top and all of these whispers about Jelani Thurman coming. It just feels like that's what we're walking into, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun, and I think that's the box that's going to be checked in terms of what we're going to be offensively.
Yeah, I'm interested to see game 1 against Texas. They'll start, obviously, huddling up. But if at any point they feel some momentum, do they just go no huddle and they just they just keep the tempo and keep that foot on the gas pedal? Tough to do when you've got all of the unknowns with an Ohio State offense, but maybe later in the game, later on in the season, certainly, does it become we're not stopping and we're going to run you into the ground? Now, maybe different because Chip Kelly's no longer there. So how does that look if it happens at all? But that'll be an experiment I'm looking out for.
It'd be interesting because that's a complete flip from what they did last year, right? Because last year they tried to cut down plays because they were planning on a 16-game season, and I'm sure they're feeling the same way. But again, Will Howard was a different kind of quarterback than maybe what you're going to have this year with this team. I just love, and it seems like we've talked and they've talked a lot about the offensive line the past few days, week or so. And I just love that, we've got guys that are earning spots here. We kind of thought we knew. We just had that these are the guys. It's going to be Onionwa at left tackle. It's going to be Montgomery at left guard, Hinsman at center, Shabola at right guard, and Serveld at right tackle. And I love that you've got guys stepping up here, like Serveld saying, no, maybe I don't want to be right tackle. Maybe I'll be the left tackle. Maybe I'll be the guy. And then Phillip Daniels, who's an Ohio kid, they're saying they're just waiting for the fight every day with him because the way he goes at these guys in practice, he's ticking people off, and I want that guy on my team. And if Phillip Daniels, when you're getting praise from your running back and your star safety, who's the second best player in the country, probably the best defensive player, that's some pretty high praise. So the players are taking note as well. And we've talked about this before. You can't fool the room. If this guy's going to step up and earn the spot on the field, you got to give it to him. Yeah,
and I think you can do all those things when you have the depth of talent that they have here. The more and more I think of it, I just think that's what we're walking into. I think we're walking into a pass-happy team with big-time threats on the outside, Claire down the middle, run off of it, and these guys just protect, and he's cross-training them. Checking a lot of boxes. It's going to be a massive test when you start against Texas, but I think they're going to be more than fine up front. Some answers coming out of Philadelphia. The Browns over at joint practices against the Eagles. Kevin Stefanski's plan for the quarterback will outline it in what is a very, very big week for that competition coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
The only workplace in America to participate in the Doorknob Fart Game. And we also play office basketball and sometimes do radio. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Hi, I'm Rick Germain, and it's the Toyota National Sales Event all month long at Toyota West. With over 600 new and pre-owned vehicles available, Toyota West at I-270 and Georgesville Road has the car you're looking for. And right now at Toyota West, take advantage of no payments for 90 days, and every pre-owned vehicle comes with a 72-hour exchange policy plus a 3-month warranty for qualified vehicles. Come see us at the Germain Auto Mall on Georgesville Road or get started today at ToyotaWest.com. No payments for 90 days. Deferred payment. Interest accrued at the time of inception with approved credit. Expires 8/31.
Hey guys, it's Timmy Hall, and I want to talk to you about the roof over your head. You know that thing that protects your house and everything in it? It's pretty important, and a lot of you are going to have to replace it soon, but be warned. There are companies out there that skip over the biggest part of the process, the attic ventilation. You see, if that attic doesn't have proper circulation, it can cause problems such as mold and rot. You got rot. And not to mention leaks in the wintertime and higher AC bills in the summer. This is one of the reasons I'm telling you about my guys at Victor's Home Solutions. They start with a free 21-point roof inspection, including a thorough inspection of that attic as well. They know that if that ventilation isn't right, that roof's going to be built on a shaky foundation. That's why every Victor's roof comes with a well-thought-out attic ventilation plan, and that's why they can offer a 50-year leak-free guarantee on every roof they install. Money-saving discounts and financing incentives are also available. Call for your free 21-point roof inspection and get that estimate today. 866-VICTORS or go to victors.com.
Hey, Buckeye fans. As the official wing sponsor of Ohio State Athletics, Roosters is kicking off an incredible giveaway you won't want to miss. This football season, we're giving away 12 ultimate Buckeye experiences. 3 drawings, 12 winners with prizes including tickets, sideline passes, and 3 trips to a Buckeye first-round postseason game. Go to roosterswings.com to register and see all the details. 3 drawings, 12 amazing prizes. Register today and every day. Roosters, a fun, casual joint.
Hey friends, it's Austin Ward, and I'm coming up on 2 full years since starting Awaken 180. Dropped 50 pounds, and I still check the scale like it owes me money. Guess what? Hasn't budged. Still under 200 pounds, still feeling great. Keeping weight off this long isn't luck or magic, it's just having the right playbook. Awaken 180 taught me exactly what works, what doesn't, and how to stay lean without the struggle. Want real, lasting results? Don't just drop the weight, retire it for good. Trust me, Awaken 180 is your winning game plan. Awaken180weightloss.com.
Imagine what it would feel like getting tackled head-on by a 240-pound linebacker. You'd be in serious pain, right? But if you're unbuckled in a car crash, at just 50 miles an hour, you become a deadly projectile that can slam into other passengers with 8 times that amount of force. Don't let someone else take the hit. Buckle up and visit buckleup.ohio.gov to learn more. Brought to you by ODOT and ODPS.
We're rebranding our AM station, and the first order of business is bringing back the and Show. It's been gone for 15 years. All the fun starts Tuesday, September 2nd on the yet-to-be-named 1460 The Fans HD2.
Progressive knows not all rides are smooth. Meet Sarah. She loves her motorcycle. What she doesn't love is when it suddenly rains. As she sits underneath the bridge waiting for it to stop, she grows quite fond of the graffiti on the overpass. She really likes the one with John Hart's Claire and wonders if they're still together. Not every ride is smooth, but Progressive has your back. Get an online quote in as little as 3 minutes and see if you can save with America's #1 motorcycle insurer. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in D.C.
My name is Georgios Tsetis. I'm the co-founder of Nutrafol. My hair started thinning in my early 20s. I tried everything, and nothing was really working. So we created Nutrafol. Our hair growth supplements undergo clinical trials and have helped millions of men and women get visibly thicker and stronger hair in just 3 to 6 months.
Get growing at Nutrafol.com. That's Nutrafol.com. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Want to know anything about the Fans contest, how to win, or what's up for grabs? Check out 971thefan.com. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Distilled sports discussion served in light beer quantities. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
For the second week consecutively, the Cleveland Browns hit the road for training camp. Last week they were in Charlotte taking on Carolina for one joint practice. Spent the week down there, and today they are in Philly and will spend the next couple of days with joint practices against the Eagles. Obviously, a lot of thought partnerships between Philly and Cleveland in terms of the front offices, the coaches, all of it. There will be no tackling. I saw Kevin Stefanski this morning with that. This is a massive week for their quarterback competition. Massive. As I've outlined many times, the intent, I do believe, was for Kenny Pickett to start this season as the Browns' starting quarterback. And the only way that Pickett wasn't going to start is if he was terrible in training camp or if he got injured. Well, Kenny Pickett got injured. And when Joe Thomas said it on the broadcast on Friday night that it was a severe hamstring injury, that should have sent up some red flags in terms of his availability. Stefanski speaking this morning saying that Pickett will be held out of 11-on-11s. He'll do 7-on-7, but he'll be out of 11-on-11s this week. That's massive. So they are cascading towards the reality that Joe Flacco is going to start the season for the Cleveland Browns at quarterback. And my hunch is that is positive in the view of most fans out there, because there are such warm and fuzzy memories of Joe from a couple of years ago, and obviously know him very, very well. He's been the best pure passer. He still is the best pure passer. When he's 50, I'm sure he'll be able to roll off the couch and just flick it the way that he can now. I'm sure all of those things are in play. So that's massive news on the Pickett front, as it's very much trending towards it's going to be Flacco. In terms of the rookies, Dillon Gabriel will get some team work this week, so he will get some 11-on-11. I'm assuming Shador Sanders will get some 11-on-11 as well, but Flacco will get the majority. So again, trending more and more towards Joe Flacco starting the opener for the Cleveland Browns. Stefanski did say that the plan all along was to get each rookie a start in a preseason game. He would not comment his plan for Saturday, but you will see, though, I'd be shocked. If Gabriel's upright and isn't injured with the hamstring, I think you'll see both guys play a lot, and only those two guys play a lot in the game on Saturday at 1 on a game you can hear on ESPN Columbus right here.
As a Browns fan, that works for me. As someone who predicts and still predicted and predicts the Browns to win 5-6 games this upcoming season, I would just ask Browns games who feel similarly to me, would you rather win 5-6 games with Joe Flacco or see if Shador Sanders can win you 5-6 games? And I would think that a lot would say Shador. Like, I'm perfectly fine, if, especially because you start with the Cincinnati Bengals, and that's a defense that I think even a mediocre quarterback can work their way through. You're going to have some lumps. But what was interesting and what gave me some confidence in the direction with this team under Shador is that there's a lot more hope there in what could be a future than what you would do with Flacco. Because Flacco's one, I mean, you said he could roll off the couch at 50 and still do this, but Flacco's a this year guy. I want to see if Shador can be a next year guy and a year after that guy. And right now, I think that's probably the best case scenario for Cleveland.
And look, if Joe Flacco is your starter all year, as you mentioned, Reese, you don't know your future, right? And you've got to figure out your future, because you have a draft next year where you're probably going to have 2 picks in the top 10, because I don't think the Browns are going to be very good, and I don't think the Jaguars are going to be very good. So you've got to figure something out here.
But I do understand if Stefanski doesn't go into the season with that thought, right? How can a coach do that?
Yeah, that's the thing that's tricky on this. Guys, you're going to see both rookies. Good. I think they'll both start.
Good.
In regular season games. I mean, Jimmy Haslam said that. We need to see them. They have to know what they have in those two guys. And the reality is the combination of the division being as difficult as it is and the Browns being as thin as they are in certain spots. I mean, receivers outside of Jerry Jeudy who are proven, I'll wait. Offensive line depth is getting scary in a hurry, in a big hurry. There are currently only 2 players on their offensive line who are under contract for next year. 2. DeJuan Jones and Cornelius Lucas. That's it. Everybody else is a free. That is a glaring issue. So they've got a lot of things to sort out, but they have to come out of this season knowing if either Shador or Dillon Gabriel can be the long-term solution at quarterback, or even a Band-Aid at quarterback. They have to have that information known. You cannot go into this offseason, go into the draft with it as an unknown. So that's something they got to figure out. And my guess is they're getting closer and closer to that every single day, but you're really not going to know until you see games. My hunch is that if you get inside of Kevin Stefanski's head, he's not going to tell you anything, but my hunch is if you did, he would look at the way that season opens and say, I cannot throw a rookie out in this. They are just ill-prepared for that type of start to the season. Whereas Joe, you know exactly what you're getting with Joe Flacco. And there's a level of professionalism. There's a level of handling his business. All of those things. You cannot be nursing a rookie along to start the season, I don't believe, unless they've gotten all of the reps. Like if they drafted Shador Sanders number 2 overall, or if they drafted Dylan Gabriel number 2 overall, and they were getting all of the reps, okay, fine. That's preparing someone to start the way Cam Ward's being prepared to start in Tennessee. These guys are not being prepared to start. Dylan more closely than Shador. Shador not at all prepared to start. Like he's not on that track at all. But Dylan's not there either, especially with the injury. There's really only one guy who's prepared to start. It's Flacco.
I feel like this year for the Browns is going to be like 2 different seasons because, and listen, every NFL team, right? You have to go in to the season thinking you're going to win games. Mm-hmm. But I just feel like the Browns are a team and a roster that is not ready to win a lot of games, at least compete for a playoff spot. So I would just like to see a clear direction, and I don't think that we're going to get that. We're going to have a start where we're going to go try to win every game. Let's rally behind Joe, and then it's going to be like, well, this didn't work how we thought it was. Let's try to get a rookie in there and see what they got. And there just doesn't seem like there's a plan to me.
Well, there's a plan. You might not agree with the plan, and I certainly understand that, but I do think that they have a plan for how this is going to go. Absolutely. Like, knowing them and knowing the way that they operate, they definitely have contingency upon contingency kind of planned out. Now, whether you like it or not, that's a different conversation entirely, but I think that they definitely know how this is going to go, and I think when ownership said that a couple of weeks ago that we need to see him play, that's referring to those 2 rookies. So they'll both, I think, start games this year, and you're going to know what you have with them one way or another. Preseason game for the Browns at the Eagles Saturday at 1. It is a Hey Guys First Friday. We'll get into that coming up next. Bishop and Friends, right here on The Fan.
If you haven't thought about Buckeye football today, I'm sorry to tell you that you're dead. Our condolences. Your home of the Buckeyes, The Fan.
From military life to a rewarding career in IT, kickstart your new journey in a matter of months in the fields of IT and cybersecurity, including AI. Learn more at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP. Financial aid is available for qualified students, including VA benefits.
And we're back talking all things connectivity with Spectrum customers Kev and Melissa. So tell us, how long have you been with Spectrum, and how important is a reliable internet connection?
We've been Spectrum customers since we moved 12 years ago. The first thing we did is sign up for Spectrum Internet.
You get a lease, you get Wi-Fi.
Yes, immediately. We need that. We had Spectrum Wi-Fi before our couch got here.
That's true. That's a true story.
I'll sleep on the floor, but I won't go to bed with no internet.
You heard it here. Switch to Spectrum now.
From sold-out stadiums under Friday night lights to more than 100,000 screaming fans on the banks of the Olentangy, America's football capital is right here in OHIO. But the greatest players and coaches of all time live in Canton at the Pro Football Hall of Fame. It doesn't matter if you spend your Sundays yelling "Hoo Day" or barking like a dog from your seats in the pound. A trip to the Pro Football Hall of Fame should be on every fan's bucket list. Plan your trip at ProFootballHof.com. The Pro Football Hall of Fame. Ignite the passion, relive the glory.
Parents, let me ask you something.
Yeah.
Go for it.
We're listening.
Yeah. Are your teens good with money?
She's a good kid.
She's the
but
best,
yeah.
but I get it. Switch to Huntington Bank, and your teen debit card can really help.
Oh?
You can set spending limits, and your kid can track budgets, so they learn that money doesn't, in fact, grow on trees.
I think we need this.
Sounds good, yeah. We feel you, parents. Let's get more from teen banking. Let's get more from money. Switch to Huntington Bank. Welcome. Eligibility requirements apply. Some features may require enrollment.
Care Heating and Cooling. When you need a company you can trust, call 1-800-COOLING.
We've all got it, you know, that one crazy thing you've always wanted to do, that bucket list goal. Then a cancer diagnosis, and that one thing still goes according to plan. I I would know. I'm getting my first tattoo right now, while my 3 beautiful daughters laugh hysterically at me. 58 years old, 4 years of cancer-free checkups at Ohio Health. Go ahead and get a picture, girls. You keep making plans.
Visit ohiohealth.com/keepmakingplans.
So we bought an actual shopping mall and put one of the largest Honda dealerships in the world inside of it. Hi, it's Steve Lindsay with Lindsay Honda. So it's big. We house about 150 to 200 cars indoors, lit, all unlocked, ready for you to be able to view and see. A fully tempered climate. Doesn't matter if it's raining outside, 10 below zero, super hot. There's real trees inside, and it's just a casual environment. And if you haven't seen it, it's really a cool story, not about its opulence. It's just a cool story to see what was a dilapidated old mall being reinvigorated into a pillar in the community that everybody benefits from.
This month at Lindsay Honda, our famous Cash for Clunkers continues during our Honda Summer event. Get up to $3,500 minimum for your trade and use it for a down payment, negative equity, or keep the cash. Only at Lindsay Honda, the big Honda store.
I can't wait to meet her. Oh my gosh.
Put your hands together for new Dr. Pepper Blackberry and Dr. Pepper Blackberry Zero Sugar.
There she is! Woohoo! Yeah! It's full Dr. Pepper!
With sweet blackberry flavor.
Dr. Pepper Blackberry, I'm obsessed with your succulent taste. Please marry me!
No! Marry me, or I'm gonna freak out!
Try new Dr. Pepper Blackberry.
It's a pepper thing!
Texting enrolls you in a recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
The team's looking good this season.
I think so. Man, I miss playing football. Being young with unlimited energy to burn. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have.
Think it could be lower testosterone?
What do you mean?
Well, guys lose their edge when they turn 40. The body has less testosterone. That's why I take Nugenix Total T.
I've heard about Nugenix. That really works?
Since I started taking Nugenix, I'm lifting like when we played for Coach Carter. I feel more energized at work. It's even spiced up things between me and the missus.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try?
Yep, send a text. It's that easy.
Text FORCE to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. It's the #1 selling testosterone boosting brand at GNC and Walmart. Do it now and they'll also send you a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, their newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text FORCE to 42424. That's FORCE to 42424. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
Good morning. I'm Eric Reeser. Good night for baseball in the Buckeye State. Spencer Steer drove in 3 runs to power the Reds past the Phillies 6-1 last night in Cincinnati. Reds and Phillies go in the series rubber match tonight at 5:10. Hear that game over on ESPN Columbus. Redlegs are only 2 games out of an NL wildcard berth. As for the Guardians, Jose Ramirez cracked a pair of home runs to power Cleveland to a 4-3 win over Miami last night at Progressive Field. Thanks to the White Sox beating the Tigers Tuesday, Cleveland now trails Detroit by 5.5 games for the race in the AL Central. Guardians are only 1 back in the AL wildcard. In college football, we're 17 days away from Ohio State and Texas. ESPN's reporting the University of Kansas received a $300 million donation from businessman David Booth. It's believed to be the largest single gift ever given in college athletics. This update sponsored by Germain Toyota, the best selection of new and used cars in Central Ohio. View their full selection of vehicles online at germaintoyota.net.
Our top men are working on everything except this show. This is Bishop and Friends.
You guys ever see the, I think it was it's a 30 for 30 on the Naismith official rules of basketball, and the guy who's the KU grad who felt that they had to be at Allen Fieldhouse, and the guy that he used to make sure that was possible was David Booth, the guy who just gave the $300 million to Kansas. He is the one that made sure that the rules of basketball stayed or are at Allen Fieldhouse. So that's pretty. He's given a lot through the years. He's kind of their T. Boone Pickens. He's given hundreds of millions through the years.
That 1891 copy, he won at auction for $3.8 million.
Yeah. Yep.
It is the, I believe, with all the stadium renovations, it's the David Booth, a memorial stadium now out there for the football field. And Have you been to Allen Fieldhouse?
No, I got to go this year because, as you guys know, I do that thing I had them all pick a blue blood. So I took NBC to Kentucky, and we went to there. And then so this year we got to go to Kansas.
So one of the
with
times,
Beamsy, because he loves the Jayhawks.
One of the times I went out to visit my buddy in Kansas City, we drove over to Lawrence and kind of spent the day there, and there was no game going on, but they have like a little museum there, and we walked through all that, and you could peek in on the court and everything. Pretty cool time.
Yeah, I look forward to it. It's going to be a fun one. We need Timmy's help on some recommendations on that one by the time we get there. Well, Fish's daughter's there, right? Pretty sure that there's that going on as well. Yeah. All right, time for a little Hey Guys on a First Friday. Hit it, fellas.
Nothing is off limits. Your participation is required. Just use the hashtag Hey Guys and ask anything you want. Do it now.
All right, winner here gets 50 to High Bank and a free distillery tour and tasting for up to 10. Simply put, the best blended whiskey in America 3 years running. It's right here in town. Stop by High Bank's 3 locations, Grandview, Gahanna, Westerville. Enjoy the award-winning spirits for your next happy hour. Make your reservations at highbankco.com. Drink local. Drink High Bank.
All right. Good friend of the program, Rand, understood the assignment. About an hour ago, he sent a Hey Guys in early. Saying, I'm sending in early as I'm currently on jury duty and don't know what time I'm going to be done. He asks, hey, guys, any good jury duty stories?
So I've never had to do it.
Same.
I've been summoned a lot, but because of what I do, I'm always excused. So I've never had to do it. I think I'd like to.
I've never even been asked that I know of, so...
Yeah, I get summoned about every other year. I get summoned, and every time I got to write the letter, and every time I get excused. But I've been summoned a bunch.
I would have thought at least one of us had done it before, but
yeah,
wow, 0 for 3 here.
Yeah,
we're not cool enough.
Eric asks in the YouTube chat, hey guys, my brother Mike's getting married on the 30th of this month during the big game. He's a Georgia fan, so I want to get him back for making me miss said game. Help.
Shame.
What are we doing?
Shame.
What are we doing? Like, the first Saturday of college football? We're getting married? Wow. I can't even... Look, I think if you're going to get... I guess one of my hard and fast rules would be if you're going to get married in this state, and I understand why you'd want to do it, especially in September, because it's our best weather state, I think it almost has to be like a Friday night wedding. I don't think you can... And I hate that because I love Friday Night Lights, but like, to me, that's the only chance. I don't know how do you get him back? Root for divorce? I don't know. I mean, that's a brutal spot to get married on that day.
I'll tell you how I get him back. I don't show up to his wedding. I won't be there. Sorry, bud.
See you on down the road.
Bo, I will say this, like you mentioned a Friday night. Like if you have a wedding once football season starts, and it's not on a different day than a Saturday or Sunday, you should be thrown in jail.
That's where I'm at.
My buddy did that. So my buddy we just talked about out in Kansas City, he had his wedding on the weekend of Ohio State, Penn State, and it was Friday night. So we could all, since we were going to be all of us together for the first time in a while, go watch the game the next day.
Yeah, right.
So that was pretty good. But if you do it on a Saturday or Sunday in the fall, jail.
Find a bye week, man. I guess if you have to, find a bye week. That's brutal.
I will say, if you're able to, and I wonder what the household makeup is, so where you're an Ohio State fan or Eric's the Ohio State fan, Mike is the Georgia fan. If there are more Ohio State fans in the family, then maybe you argue for an AV cart to be brought into the ceremony to have the game on. Like, you know, the officiant can do the whole thing. Do you, great vows, whatever. But the rest of the party who's interested can watch Ohio State and Texas.
Look, everyone's going to be on their phones. That's what I would tell the bride, so just buckle up. We actually got married on the Saturday of the Final Four, is when we got married. We got married out in California on the Saturday of the Final Four. And what I told my wife was like, we are not having TVs on. And I'm like, just put a TV on, and you won't even notice it. And it won't be that big of a deal. Like the Buckeyes weren't in the Final Four. It wasn't anything like that. So there was nothing that everyone was going to go run to and clamor to have to watch it. But at the same time, like, don't try to fight it. Like we chose it. We got to own it. Just put a TV on in the reception and put it. It'll be in a corner, and everybody will be fine, and they'll check in on it. It's way better than having them leave and all of the other things. Just understand the fact that people are going to be on their phones looking at that score.
Hunter asks on Twitter, would you rather attend Ohio State, Texas, one of the days of the Ryder Cup at Bethpage, or make the trip to London to watch the Browns?
Oh, Ohio State, Texas.
This isn't even close.
Yeah, I would be more interested in the Ryder Cup if it was Live versus PGA. I don't understand the idea of going to watch my team play across the pond. And this isn't a Browns thing. It could be like if Ohio State ever had to go play in, if they were signed up for one of these Ireland things, or they're going to play, Michigan's going to play in Germany. Like, I don't know. Like if I want to, I told my wife this. She's like, we should go. The Browns play in England. We should go take the boys to England. And I said, I'm cool with taking the boys to England, but that's its own trip. Like, I don't want to shoehorn a football game into it. Like, I would rather go to see, Chelsea play Tottenham or something like that. I don't want to shoehorn American football into a European trip.
The only way I think it would be worth it is if it's someplace you've always wanted to go and you have like 2 weeks.
Yeah, lots of time.
So it doesn't cut into your vacation. Like, if the Blue Jackets played a game in Turks and Caicos, I'm all in. I'm going to go see you guys in 2 weeks.
Look forward to seeing how they get the ice ready in Turks and Caicos.
If they can do it in Florida, they can do it there.
Yeah, get the. I'm guessing they have a little different. My hunch is Florida has a few more advantages than Turks and Caicos for getting sheets of ice to stay cold.
Will you quit poo-pooing on my idea?
Maybe Bermuda. It's a little more temperate. You could go to Bermuda, and maybe there you could play outside and play some ice hockey.
Joe asks in the YouTube chat, hey guys, if you could go back and change one play in any sporting event, what would you change?
Jeez. Do you guys have one off the top?
Off the top, I would. It wouldn't be a play. It would be reversing Mother Nature, so there wouldn't be a weather delay in the 2016 World Series, Game 7 of that series.
So the one play to me that sticks out is the fumble. They don't have the fumble. The Browns are in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, they probably get boat raced, but they would have gotten to a Super Bowl.
Man, you are just throwing water on everything today.
So I'll do some self-punishment for this because when Reese mentioned weather, my senior year, we had gotten to the state semifinals in football, and we were pass happy. I threw it 50, 60 times a game. We threw it every down. And the Friday before, nobody had lights, so we played the semifinal. All the games are on Saturdays. And the Friday before, in November, the weather was perfect. It was like 66 degrees, not an ounce of wind, just perfect. And we had the best practice probably the best practice I ever had in high school was that Friday practice. And that Saturday, when I woke up to take the 2-hour bus ride to Geraldine, Montana, it was a straight up blizzard, wind blowing 50 miles an hour. It was a rain sleet mix. When we got to the field, there was a layer of water over the entire field, and then it was still wind blowing and sleeting, snowing. They onside kicked the first 3 kickoffs of the game, recovered all 3 of them. They punched it right at the guy on our kick return, the guy right in the middle, hit right off his chest every time, recovered all 3. They were an option team. By the time I took the first snap, we were down 20-0. By the time I took the first snap, I did not complete. I don't even remember the stat line. I know I ran for 100 yards. It was the first game I ever ran for 100 yards in my career as a high school player. You couldn't throw the ball anywhere. It was like throwing an ice ball. It was packed with snow and ice all around it. You couldn't do anything. We lost 44-0. Fantastic. Not that I'm bitter all these years later. Brutal. Absolutely brutal. Sucks. I can't believe I just told that story. Suck. 44-0.
I was going to say, I think we got to pick a winner, but I think we already have based off of the story it invoked out of you.
God, it's awful. Just awful. Who did that?
Great question, Joe.
Good job out of Joe.
Enjoy it, Joe. I could use a drink. I might pour
just
one
thinking
in the
about that.
Yeah. Jeez, awful.
First
Absolutely
Friday
awful.
starts early this week, boys.
It was a long bus ride, boys, home. We had so much hope. So much hope. And for what? For nothing. To get crushed. Could not throw the ball. Awful. All right, so Joe's the winner. He gets the $50 gift card to our great friends at High Bank, the free distillery tour and the tasting for up to 10. When you're talking about High Bank, you're talking about the best blended whiskey in America. Make your reservations at highbankco.com. Drink local, drink High Bank. Some history for the Buckeyes in regards to the poll coming up next. Bishop and Friends, right here on The Fan.
If you consider yourself a Buckeye fan, you've come to the right place. This is your heritage sports talker and home of Ohio State Athletics, The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Enjoy hot deals on Meijer brand back-to-school must-haves all season long. Save on breakfast favorites like Meijer Toasted Oats Honey Nut Cereal, select varieties of Meijer pastry treats, Meijer Sweet and Salty Granola Bars, and Meijer Applesauce, each for only $1.79. Save on lunchtime essentials like Meijer Peanut Butter, Meijer Grape Jelly, and Meijer Round Top Bread, just $1.39 each. Saving a good deal more on your favorite Meijer brand must-haves is a good deal better all season long. Exclusions apply. See all deals in the Meijer app.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. My good friends over at Sleep Better Columbus want you to know that if you're 65 or older, enjoying those golden years, but maybe you're dealing with restless nights, you need to listen up. Are you tossing and turning, struggling with sleep apnea, and that leaves you wiped out during the day? Well, it's time to reclaim your rest with Dr. Mark Levy at Sleep Better Columbus. As a leading provider in non-surgical sleep apnea treatments, Dr. Levy helps you breathe easier and sleep deeper with custom oral appliances, a comfortable alternative to CPAP. The best part is that Sleep Better Columbus is in network with most medical insurance plans and is a proud Medicare provider, so your coverage can work seamlessly with Sleep Better Columbus. And as we head toward the end of the year, don't let those benefits go unused. You don't want to wait to use your deductible. Act now to make the most of it with Sleep Better Columbus. Call Sleep Better Columbus today at 800-MORE-SLEEP or visit sleepbettercolumbus.com. Once again, that number, 800-MORE-SLEEP or sleepbettercolumbus.com for your consultation. Sleep better, live better, you've earned it.
Skyline is introducing a new chicken chili. Come get that world-famous Skyline flavor you love with a new protein option. Try the new Skyline chicken chili on Waze, Coney's, and all your Skyline favorites. At Columbus Skyline locations only while supplies last.
Wake up and cash. It's Top Picks on Morning Juice. Powered by WeWinUwin.com. Professional sports bettor Chad Patrick. Dropping plays and juicing up your Friday mornings with fresh pick winners. WeWinUwin.com. Built by winners for winners. Stop guessing and start cashing.
It's Leslie from Pella Columbus.
And I'm Wilson from that other window place.
One of the things we constantly hear from customers, Wilson, it's impossible to pick a favorite. We've got 5 different window lines here at Pella for the $300,000 to the $3 million home.
Yep, impossible to pick a favorite. My parents would always say that.
Oh, Wilson, that's so sweet.
Yeah, other than I'm an only child.
Oh. Get the windows that Columbus homeowners rated the leading window brand at PellaColumbus.com.
Say goodbye to car care headaches with Carvenience from Hinderer Motor Company. This is Justin Hinderer. For only $49, we'll pick up your vehicle, leave you with a rental, and return it fully serviced and spotless. No more juggling your schedule or wasting hours at the shop. Carvenience lets you focus on what matters while we take care of all the rest, making life easier. Schedule your service today at HindererMotorCompany.com.
The Buckeyes are national champions. And you listen to it all right here on The Fan. And next year when they do it again, it'll be here on The Fan. And the year after that, well, you know the drill. Always and forever, your home of the Buckeyes. The Fan.
Got a teen athlete? Then you know putting in the hours is all part of the game. But did you know the same goes for learning how to drive? Because just like playing a sport, learning to drive takes practice. The only difference is the stakes are even higher. 50 hours of practice time driving with you? Worth every minute. Gear up at teachyourteentodrive.ohio.gov.
And now, Public Education Matters with Ohio Education Association President Jeff Wensing.
We're getting ready to head back to our classrooms for the new school year, and I want to recognize our education support professionals, many of whom work right through the summer months to make our schools run smoothly every day. To Ohio's custodians, school secretaries, maintenance workers, and so many more, thank you.
Public Education Matters, brought to you by the Ohio Education Association.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Have the umbrella handy by the time the kids are getting out of school or you're getting out of work. We are going to see chances of scattered showers and thunderstorms, some which could have heavy downpours and gusty winds. Otherwise, skies will be mostly to partly cloudy with highs in the upper 80s. For tonight, those chances of rain taper off overnight with our lows down into the 70s. Otherwise, skies will be partly sunny and highs in the upper 80s. For The Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfalo with your 10 weather impact forecast.
During this 10-second promo, Rothman will lose money gambling on something.
People like you come here and blow the family nest egg that built this town.
Rothman and Ice.
Weekdays from noon to 3.
The Fan. We'll read your emails on the air, but we won't tell you where to send them. Hey, we're not doing all the work for you. This is Bishop and Friends.
And we are sponsored by our great friends at Diamond Cellar, your true jeweler for over 78 years. A couple of things brought to my attention on social. This is a good job out of Bryce. His wife's cousin got married the night when Ohio State played Nebraska, the first season they were in the Big Ten. I had her go to the venue prior to the wedding to make sure I got good cell service so I could watch the game on my phone. Yeah, that's what you're going to get. And I think you have to be able to be aware that that's what's going to happen. Like, that's my recommendation to all of the brides that decide to do the fall wedding thing. Like, just understand that you can't prevent it. Like, people are going to do it. So just move past it. And guess what? You will, because you're so into your moment that you're not going to be even worried about what the people in the pews or wherever if you outdoor wedding, what that's going to do.
If an Ohio State game is that important to you, that you are going to watch it on your phone at your wedding, why did you agree to do the wedding then?
You're right. Yeah. So you just own it. It's got to be kind of the way to handle that thing. Caleb brought this to my attention. I saw this yesterday and then I didn't give it much thought, and now I am. He tweets, did you see this? It could mean they're changing the logo. I saw it yesterday. So the Big Ten Conference yesterday tweeted out, our next era starts in 2 days, and it's the picture of the big with a padlock on it. And potentially they could be changing the logo as kind of the read on that. The Big Ten has had, there's a great site called sportslogos.net, and they have the historical logo of the conference. And really, they didn't have one until their primary logo didn't happen until 1972, and it was a map of, guess what? The states in the Big Ten original footprint. So it's Minnesota, Iowa, Wisconsin, Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, and Michigan. The Big Ten. They stayed that way through 91, all the way to 86. Then from 86 to 91, they kind of had a 10 with a Big Ten conference in it. Then when Penn State jumped in, that's when they started to hide. Remember this one? They hid the 11 in the Big Ten because they were now the Big 11. So they had it kind of hid in there. Pretty cool graphic that they did for that one. They had that one through 2011. And then from 2011 on, they've had the current, which is just big with the 1 and the G kind of in there, with the I being a 1. So could have some logo decisions on the Big Ten side of things. What to me, I think you just make it the United States. You just put big across it. Doesn't that solve it? That's the whole thing that they're going for, is that we're from sea to shining sea.
Would you just fill in the rest of the G so it's B18?
We could do that. I do like that they just kept it. Was it the Big 8 who was like the Big 8, the Big 12?
Yep.
Right? Like we're just staying the Big 10. Like we're the Big 10, even if we have 18 teams. I always thought it would be clean if they went to 20, because then they could have 2 10s. If they ever got to adding 2 more, they could split it into 2 10-team things. And then you're right back to the Big 10 actually making sense. Eventually, maybe you get to 30. Who knows? But it could be having a new logo coming on the Big 10 side of things here in the future.
If they do, I'm trying to think of a math equation they could make their logo if it was 30 teams in the conference. Because I was thinking you could just put a 3, like B10 cubed, but that wouldn't equal 30.
I was like the Roman numeral. Like if it was big BIG with an X, that's not bad. Yeah, we'll see what they do, but that should be coming tomorrow. This info from 11 Warriors. After the Buckeyes checked in at number 3 in the preseason AP poll, Ohio State sended its nation-leading streak of preseason AP poll appearances to 37 years, which is 11 years longer than any program in the country and the longest in AP poll history. Some other AP poll facts for the Buckeyes. Longest active streak in the AP preseason poll goes from 89 on. What happened in 88 that we weren't ranked in the preseason in 88?
That probably would have been Cooper's first year. Earl's last year was 87, so probably a little uncertainty there with the program.
Yeah, I know it was a big build to try to dig out of that a little bit, but it's pretty wild they weren't, because, I mean, it was Earl always won. What was it, 8-3 Earl, right? That was the thing, that the minimum requirement. So 88 they weren't. If not that, it probably goes back even further. But from 89 on, they have. The next longest streak is Oklahoma, which is a 26-year run of preseason polls. Georgia is 24. Alabama just 18. People forget this. We talk about it all the time. Ohio State's the only program that doesn't have a dip. Everybody else has massive dips. Alabama was absolutely irrelevant in the Mike Price, Dennis Franchione, Mike Shula stretch there. Mike DeBose as well. Lot of brutal coaching in that spot. Clemson, 14 years. I would have thought that. So that would have been the transition from Tommy Bowden to Dabo Swinney. I didn't realize that it got that bad there. It felt like Tommy was always relevant at Clemson, if not national championship worthy, the way they've been under Dabo. But they obviously weren't in 2011. Total appearances in the AP poll, Ohio State atop that list with 72 appearances in the AP preseason poll. Oklahoma second, USC third. Oklahoma's 5 back, USC, Notre Dame, and then Alabama. Longest active streak in the AP poll, Ohio State, 58 years. Showing up in the AP poll. Georgia is second, a distant second at 29 consecutive years. Oregon 28, Oklahoma 27, LSU 26. No school has appeared in more polls or in a larger percentage of them than Ohio State. 80% of the total AP polls Ohio State has been in. Second on that list is Michigan. Oklahoma is third, Alabama, and Notre Dame, followed by USC. It's just what we've done. And we've done it forever. And the crazy thing, I had somebody, we were doing like the college football Mount Rushmore thing of blue bloods yesterday, and I think we centered on Ohio State, Oklahoma, Alabama, and Notre Dame. And someone had written in and said, as much as I hate them, I think it has to be Michigan because of the all-time wins. I don't think it does. I don't think it does. I think, to me, Notre Dame historically better than Michigan historically. Now, Michigan's been more successful at the top, winning the 2 national titles, in most of our lifetimes, where Notre Dame just has the one. But so much of Michigan's success happens in those first 25 years of the sport. The late 1800s, early 1900s. So much of their success historically happens then. That's what really shifts the Ohio State-Michigan rivalry numbers is that 20-some year run there. With Fielding Yost and all that. That's where they kind of separated. So I feel to me, if I'm picking the 4, it's Ohio State, Notre Dame, Alabama, and then the 4th one would be Oklahoma. Those would be my 4 on the Mount Rushmore. But I do think, Michigan, absolutely a blue blood. I had that list of 7 yesterday, and I still feel pretty good about that. Do you guys have any problem with Notre Dame over Michigan if we do a blue blood Mount Rushmore?
No. If there were 5 heads, sure, Michigan could be there, but no.
Yeah, I don't think there's a problem with that. I mean, it's a close argument, right? Mm-hmm. But I don't have a problem with that. And Bo, I just think of this when I see all these numbers, and you talk about this all the time. Like, we are not entitled to this. Like, it's amazing that this has happened here at Ohio State, and the Buckeyes, minus a season or 2, are the only ones that have never had a dip. It seems like they've never gotten the head coach so bad that it didn't work. And since Woody Hayes has been here, the tradition has just been set. And we need to remember how lucky we are, and we get spoiled as fans a lot, that it is so good here.
Dude, just do since Tress. Just do since Tress. You've won 3 national titles with 3 different coaches. This is the opposite of the argument that I had of Florida not being a blue blood or USC not being a blue blood. Like, what are those programs when they don't have elite coaches? Not much. Not much. Ohio State hires great coaches, and then they go win national titles. To have 3 different coaches win national titles in the last 25 years is LSU did that. But LSU doesn't have the history that Ohio State does, going back to Woody and Paul Brown and everything else. They don't have that. But that's when you know you're a program. When you can have different coaches, different mentalities, different mindsets, and no matter who's there, you can contend. It's the best program in the country. It's the most historical. It's the best, and most people have it that way. Look at Oklahoma. I mean, a team they are teetering. I don't know what's going to happen this year with Venables. You think about what they were before Bob Stoops was hired at Oklahoma in the 90s, coming out of Barry Switzer. Not much. They were off the grid, man. People can't even remember who some of those coaches were hired, who some of those coaches were. And the same is true of Texas. My lifetime, they haven't always been in the mix. When Mac Brown got there, then they got in the mix. But up until that, they weren't. It's tough. It's very difficult. But that's another example of the warm blanket that Ohio State's been only forever. Quite honestly, 80% of the AP polls Ohio State's been in. That is absolutely a stupefying number. Jake Troder in 2 minutes on, 17 days out. Going to be fun. He's coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Joining us on this episode are real Spectrum customers, Monique and Greg. We hear your family is a big fan of Spectrum.
Family of 4, we have about 18 devices last time I counted.
2 teams require a lot of speed. Everything they do is online.
There's gaming, there's streaming. Spectrum is perfect for us. I mean, it just seamlessly connects all our devices with lightning speed.
Sounds like Spectrum is really committed to keeping you connected.
It's amazing.
At Kroger, you never compromise. You get high quality and low prices. Like you never compromise your meal with our spring salad mix that's guaranteed fresh. And you never compromise your budget with lower prices on over 1,000 items. Hand it to Kroger shoppers. You never compromise. Kroger. Fresh for everyone.
Save big on eggs. Right now, 18-count cartons of large grade A Kroger brand eggs are on sale for just $3.49 each with your digital coupon. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
At United Dairy Farmers, peach is our most popular ice cream. And once you taste it, you'll know why. Now's the time to grab a UDF peach shake, malt, cone, or sundae. They're only here for a limited time. UDF Peach Ice Cream, made for you.
The summer event is still on at Germain Honda of Dublin, and with football back, Rich is ready to dominate the competition. You can lease the sleek 2025 Honda Accord LX for as low as $249 a month or finance with 3.99% APR. Upgrade to adventure with the 25 Honda Pilot Sport all-wheel drive. Lease starting at $429 per month or 4.49% APR. Visit Germain Honda of Dublin on Sawmill Road, just south of 270. See dealer for full details.
Delaware County Veterans Services is ready to help you access VA benefits, emergency financial assistance, dental and medical grants, transportation, and more. Give Delaware County Veterans Services a call, 740-833-2010 to schedule an appointment.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for over 75 years. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Let me introduce you to a man with a magnificent salt and pepper beard. A man who's currently roasting lamb on a spit. A man who runs the Rocky River Greek Festival. That man is Jake Troder.
Indeed it is. The senior college football reporter at ESPN joining us on the Bryant Heating Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. What was your reaction when you saw the Johnny Matir situation down in Norman?
Well, two reactions, Bo. Who keeps their Venmo transactions public, right?
A kid
and
does.
And number two, who is like doing a deep dive on just random quarterbacks' Venmo histories? That would have never occurred to me. You know, we've seen that with social media, in particular Twitter, posts from 9 years ago. But that was kind of a new frontier. And I think the lesson is be careful about what you put in your descriptions for transactions.
I think there's two things of this story there's two different tracks that are interesting. The one track is, and I've got a 13-year-old, and we have this conversation all the time. Assume that everything that is on your phone is going to be made public. Now, that's scary, but that's the way that I would operate. And it's hard because their whole lives are on these phones, and a lot of our lives are on these phones. But that's kind of my advice to my kid is assume all of it's going to be made public. The other part is the gambling part. I mean, I don't care if he did it or not, but my hunch is he probably did. And then whether he did it or not, the next part would be, is anyone going to take the time to actually investigate it? And Jake, does anybody care to investigate it?
So I spoke to some of my people in Norman yesterday, and Matir has sworn to multiple school officials, as we reported yesterday, that this was a joke and that he never gambled on anything, which I kind of believe. Like it passes the smell test for me. In other words, it would be really stupid to bet on games and then actually put sports gambling. Like that's such a weird term to put in a Venmo transaction, anyway. But yeah, like, and it, this didn't happen when we were kids, but you can say something or do something when you're 16, 17, 18, and it lives with you forever because of the way our society has changed. So yeah, I think that's great advice. I sometimes I'll get asked, like, should I tweet that? And my answer is, if you have to ask, the answer is no.
Yes.
Like if it's even borderline, there's no benefit that's going to outweigh the potential cost of such a tweet. And I've just seen, particularly people in media over the years, just get rung up. In some cases, maybe not fired immediately, but fired eventually, or let go eventually because of tweets they made. So it's really good advice, and you never know when, a Twitter direct message or an Instagram direct message or a Snapchat or a text is going to get out there somehow. You just got to be really careful, and you got to say something. If you got to communicate something that is sensitive, it's best to do it on the phone than via message where there's going to be a digital footprint for, a while.
All right. We have AP poll out, coaches poll out. What did you like about how these teams were? Well, first of all, before we get into this, what value do you put in these?
I'm interested to see, because I had to vote on our ESPN rankings, preseason rankings, which honestly, I don't even know if they've come out yet. Maybe they did or didn't, but
yeah,
I like to see how the AP and the coaches have, voted compared to me. So that's kind of how I use it. Like, all right, how did they treat Penn State? How do they treat Texas? How do they treat, Iowa State or Oklahoma? I'm just curious to see, like, how my view of these teams lines up with the coaches or the media. But yeah, honestly, I don't really care that much. I don't really put a lot of stock into it because, again, it's a preseason poll that's usually based on, past performance and also the logo on your helmet, and it really doesn't determine, who the best teams are going to be at the end of the year.
No, I do think, though, and one thing that I always say, that these are meaningless and also incredibly meaningful because they give us a jumping off point. And they give the committee a jumping off point. For example, we're going to see it week 1, Texas, Ohio State. The loser of that game, I don't think will fall below 7 or 8, right? If they started 10th, they would drop to 19. So that's why it matters, because it shapes the way that we view these teams as the season goes along. And that's the part. What I noticed about the coaches is the coaches are a little bit like Ric Flair, right? To be the man, you got to beat the man. So usually defending champions get a lot of love for the coaches, and the AP is a little bit more kind of open with their thought. I've heard a lot of people say Penn State should be number 1, and usually and I don't disagree with that. I think them and Clemson kind of probably both should be 1 and 2 is kind of probably the way I would do it based on returning quarterbacks and returning talent.
That's why I had Texas, Penn State, Clemson 1, 2, 3.
So is the Texas bet, because they've lost a lot. And Texas is number 1 in both of these, and we're going to see them week 1. And they're going to be underdogs week 1, which I don't know what you can read into that, but right now they're underdogs in that game. It's the faith in Arch, isn't it? That's it, because they have a lot of guys to replace, much like the Buckeyes do.
It's faith in Arch. They do have a lot of guys coming back, though. Like, they've got Anthony Hill, Colin Simmons. I mean, that's outside of Clemson, that's probably about as good as it gets in college football in your front 7. And then the other way I look at it, too, is this. And this is why I'm leaning toward picking Texas to win the national championship this year, is when you've been knocking on the door, year after year, which they have done, eventually you win the national championship. Michigan was kind of that way before they won it all. Ohio State, frankly, has been knocking on the door for like ever.
Yeah.
It seems like, and they finally got over the hump. So I just think that, when I'm trying to pick a national champion, I'm like, okay, who has been there, and then who has the capability to get over that hump? And I'm not ready to go there with Penn State for obvious reasons, but I think Texas, if I'm looking at, Clemson is probably the other team that I think is right there in terms of what you need to win the national championship. And who knows, like Ohio State, with them, it's just more of like, I don't know what's their quarterback going to look like. I mean, they've got so many new guys on both sides of the ball. I think the offensive line is going to be good. I think the pass catchers are going to be really good. But again, like you got to wait and see what happens, at the quarterback position. But yeah, like a lot of it too is, I'm just buying Arch. I mean, everything I've heard, more so with what I've heard than what I have seen, because we haven't seen much. I'm buying stock there, and I think in a lot of ways, and I'll be writing about this in a few days. There's a lot of similarities between the Texas team in 2005 and the Texas team in 2025. Not saying that Arch is Vince. I'm not saying this team is necessarily going to, go undefeated and win the national championship. But Vince had to wait a little bit before he got a chance to play. Same thing with Arch. And again, Texas has been knocking on the door the way that Mac Brown team was knocking on the door until they finally won it all. So we'll see. I mean, it is going to be really fun week one, especially in Columbus. And I think the great part of the new era is if you lose, you're still okay. Yeah. And you can use that game, to become a better team down the line. And I think I've told you, Bo, there is a scenario in which Ohio State is an absolutely terrifying team again in December.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're going to be that in September or late August, but they just kind of look like a team like, oh my gosh, like these guys again by the time we get late in the year, because their inexperience is going to be less of an issue by the time we get to the latter part of the season.
There aren't many teams in the country that are going to pass the look test getting off the bus the way the Buckeyes are. Like when you get your eyes on that linebacking group, I think it's the best corner group in the country. They have the best defensive player in the country in Caleb Downs. The receiving core is all NFL. It's all NFL. The offensive line is going to be critical. They've never had a tight end like Max Clare. They've never had that.
I'm telling you what,
Ricky Dudley. You got to go back to Ricky Dudley. It's been a long time.
Yeah, Max Clare is going to be awesome for them this year.
Yeah. So it's just on Julian or Lincoln, whoever wins the job, and we kind of think it's going to be Julian, but whoever it is, it's just, can you play to that level? And that's probably where the hesitation comes. But one thing that as I look at this thing, and let's finish it with Oklahoma, because you think about these teams around Texas that have put so much into it. You think about Texas Tech and what they've done in the portal. You think about Oklahoma. I mean, they got the most important guy in the portal in John Matir. Now, my hunch is he'll play. Texas A&M, all they've spent. Like, it's kind of, and even SMU, who's sitting there at 16 with all the money they're spending. The state of Texas is flexing, and that region is flexing in terms of dollars. And it's just kind of a race to see who can get there. And so currently Texas is at the top, but it's a massive season for all those programs.
Yeah, there's no lack of money in the state of Texas. The reason A&M hasn't won at the level that they think they should be winning has nothing to do with money. And I think that goes to show, and this is why, Ryan Day takes issue with it, and I agree with him. It wasn't just the $20 million. That's part of it, okay? But you have to actually go out and, perform. And money can give you money can get you in the door, but it can't close the deal for you. And, that's college football. It's still like, who's your quarterback, and can you make the plays you need to at the end of the game? Can you bounce back when you've got punched in the face? So there's a lot of it that goes into winning a national championship beyond money, even though that's never been more important than it is now.
No, absolutely not. All right, buddy. Good stuff as always. We're inching closer to this thing, and the game's actually counting. Good talking to you as always, pal.
All right, Sibo.
All right, there he goes. Jake Troder, ESPN, joining us on the Brian Heating Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. We get Thing or Not a Thing up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Big voice guy here to remind you that you're listening to The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Okay, thanks. I have 3 more seconds. Bye-bye.
Make your first lawn move with the reliable performance and power of Steel battery tools. Hedge trimmers, mowers, string trimmers, and more. Shop in-store or online at steeldealers.com.
Imagine what it would feel like getting tackled head-on by a 240-pound linebacker. You'd be in serious pain, right? But if you're unbuckled in a car crash, at just 50 miles an hour, you become a deadly projectile that can slam into other passengers with 8 times that amount of force. Don't let someone else take the hit. Buckle up and visit buckleup.ohio.gov to learn more. Brought to you by ODOT and ODPS.
Discover uncompromising quality at a reliable price with Giant Eagle in Market District. Look for signs throughout the store highlighting lower prices. Surround yourself with savings at Giant Eagle. Experience value like never before. Visit Giant Eagle today to see how easy it is to save.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with AutoPay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just 1 cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here.
Based on analysis by Ookla of speed test intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025. Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 a monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at T-Mobile.com.
Hey friends, it's Austin Ward, and I'm coming up on 2 full years since starting Awaken 180. Dropped 50 pounds, and I still check the scale like it owes me money. Guess what? Hasn't budged. Still under 200 pounds, still feeling great. Keeping weight off this long isn't luck or magic, it's just having the right playbook. Awaken 180 taught me exactly what works, what doesn't, and how to stay lean without the struggle. Want real, lasting results? Don't just drop the weight, retire it for good. Trust me, Awaken 180 is your winning game plan. Awaken180weightloss.com.
Got one of those days that never stops? Try a stop at Speedway. Refresh your fuel tank, refresh your U-tank with 69-cent large Big Gulp drinks. And refresh the vibe for any drive. Refresh at Speedway with 69-cent large Big Gulp drinks with Speedy Rewards and try exclusive Mountain Dew Infinite Swirl flavor for a limited time only. The convenience stores of Speedway. Valid through 8/26/25. See app for full terms.
With rates as low as 5.54% APR and a $400 cash bonus when you refinance with BMI Federal Credit Union, now is the perfect time to take advantage of the BMI FCU Summer Savings Event. Visit bmifcu.org/refinance for more details.
We are rebranding our AM station, ESPN Columbus, partly because we're bored, mostly because it's crap. We have a new lineup picked out and everything, but angry lawyer person said I can't say it yet. It all starts Tuesday, September 2nd.
Hi, this is Ron from the Good Feet store. Are you standing on painful feet all day? Don't lose hope. We want to help you live without pain. Discover your options and visit goodfeet.com. Or stop in today at the Good Feet store on Polaris Parkway in Grove City.
Cash for Clunkers continues during the Honda Summer Event at Lindsay Honda.
Listen up, Columbus. Cash for Clunkers is big money towards your next ride.
Up to $3,500 minimum for your trade.
Use it for the down payment, negative equity, or keep the cash.
Lease a new 2025 HR-V two-wheel drive LX or 2026 Civic four-door LX for just $299 a month. Zero cash down. Just bring us your clunker. Shop Lindsay Honda, the big Honda store now. For details, visit lindsayhonda.com.
Columbus, the Blue Jackets schedule is out. And you can lock in your seats with ticket plans starting at just 11 games. Don't miss a moment of the action. Visit bluejackets.com.
The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by Patriot Air Comfort Systems and Bryant, doing whatever it takes to keep your home comfortable. The Fan.
When General Sherman marched through Georgia, he was listening to this show.
Use your skills for good, young warrior.
This is Bishop and Friends.
All right, time for a little thing or not a thing on a first Friday. Hit it, fellas.
Thing or not a thing.
Sponsored by Billiards Plus. Find your next grill and everything you need for the master griller. Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
Today would have been Johnny Gaudreau's 32nd birthday. Meredith and Madeline Gaudreau joined Good Morning America earlier today to announce the launch of the John and Matthew Gaudreau Foundation. The foundation officially launched back in March, and it works not only to keep the memory of Johnny and Matthew going, but also to give back to the hockey community and to the world at large. Meredith told NHL.com earlier this week, quote, "We kind of spent the whole year really trying to take our time, do things right, and we've already been able to accept a lot of donations. A lot of people have really spread the word, so we wanted to make sure we took our time." A statement on the foundation's website says, quote, "John and Maddie made a tremendous and everlasting impact on everyone who knew them. In addition to their hockey talents, the boys are known for their kindness. The foundation's purpose is to continue giving back to what the boys are passionate about and to ultimately continue to make a positive impact on the world in their honor," end quote. Thing or not a thing?
It's a great thing. It's just still gut-wrenching to when you think it was around. I mean, obviously it was the Friday, the opener a year ago when it happened, and we all remember that very, very well. Yeah, I mean, it's just I have such amount of admiration, respect, and I don't know Meredith at all, but just the way she's handled all of this, I think, is such an incredible display of strength and humanity and kindness and vulnerability and all of it. And I just wish the best for all of them, and I cannot imagine what life is like and how she puts one foot in front of the other, but she does. And every time she does, you're impressed by how she's handling it. So, brutal spot, but yeah, certainly a thing.
It's amazing the strength that she has and how she has handled all of this. Speaking of Meredith Gaudreau, there's a lot of times when I'm like, man, could we quit asking her to do stuff? This has got to be pretty brutal, but some people, sometimes that's their way of moving on, right? That's their comfort, is remembering the person that they love that's no longer here and doing things in their honor, doing things for them, making sure that people still remember them and know them. And this foundation is a great way to do that. I saw they're having a golf outing, I believe, maybe this week over in New Jersey for the foundation. They just had a 5K not long ago that was in Oldman's Township in New Jersey, but they also did it virtually around the country so people could do it everywhere. They continue to hit home runs, and selfishly as a Jackets fan, I think, man, that's the top six winger this team needs that would give them over the hump. But more so, I think they lost a husband, a father, a brother, an uncle, all of those things. And it's just the whole situation still to this day is so tragic.
There were so many places that Johnny Gaudreau could have gone after his time in Calgary, but he chose Columbus. And I think only forever should his name and number be in the rafters at Nationwide Arena so that we never forget the choice that he made, what he meant to this team, what he meant to this organization, what that family means not only to this city, but to the hockey community at large, and any chance that they can get to have Meredith and that family part of the Blue Jackets organization, I think they absolutely should take, because there should never, ever be a moment where you forget what the person he was, him and his brother, the people that they were, what they meant to hockey, and that they chose Columbus, and it should be honored only forever.
And I love that Dean Evison last year said Johnny's jersey and locker stall aren't going anywhere as long as he's the head coach. And I don't think Dean's going anywhere anytime soon. So,
if you're curious, the man who killed them has been charged with aggravated manslaughter, reckless vehicular homicide, other offenses. Still has not been in front of it. I mean, he's been in front, but still no trial. I mean, he pleaded not guilty. There's no trial. He has a court appearance set for August 21st of 2025. How the hell does it take that long?
Well, there's been a lot of continuances. I know there was an issue where his lawyer and his defense team were trying to get certain evidence thrown out because of Johnny and Matthew possibly have been drinking before the accident while they were riding the bikes, and it's just the legal process, right? And something like this.
It's crazy how long it takes. I mean, we haven't had a trial. It's been a year.
This upcoming NBA season, Inside the NBA, is expected to be available on ESPN. John Lewis of Sports Media Watch reported Tuesday that Inside the NBA will air during the league's opening week for 30 minutes, and then not again until Christmas.
Oh.
Yeah.
From the reporting, quote, the TNT-produced Inside the NBA is scheduled to air in a half-hour time slot following the first ESPN doubleheader of the NBA season on October 22nd. The show would run from 12:05 to 12:35 Eastern, leading into a Bristol-based sports center at 12:35. After the opening week of the season, TNT's NBA studio show is not guaranteed to take place again until Christmas Day. Of course, the TNT studio set is to air during the NBA Finals on ABC, Conference Finals, NBA Playoffs, all ABC games after January 1st, and other marquee live events, end quote. Thing or not a thing?
Medium thing. Do you really, I don't know. How much does even Chuck and those, do they want to work in November? Right? They're all getting paid the same.
It's a good point.
They might not even want to. They might be like, yeah, we'll do the opener and then I'll see you at Christmas. The other thing that was made a big deal is this 30-minute time slot. My guess is that that's something that can move. Like typically their show kind of goes for 50 minutes or thereabouts. They kind of, because they've been on TNT, they can do whatever they want. So I don't know if it'll definitely be stuck to that 30-minute time slot type thing, the way that it's being done. It could just be something that they put in there. I think in the end, you're going to get this when you want it, which is the finals, the playoffs, all of those things. I think you're going to be fine on this.
I feel like this is a dumb thing on ESPN's part because I feel Inside the NBA is the thing that people talk about the NBA the most, except for hardcore NBA fans. And I have a feeling that they're going to get some backlash from this, and you're going to see it before Christmas. I think the fans are going to voice their displeasure, and they'll get this back on TV.
I wanted to get to this really quickly. On the One Night with Steiny podcast, Nets forward Michael Porter Jr. made some comments that hinted at the potential for athletes to manipulate game outcomes for betting gains.
Think about it.
There you go.
You get mad at these dudes that do the sports betting, but think about if you could get all your homies rich by telling them, yo, $10,000 on my under, this one game I'm gonna act like I got an injury and I'm gonna sit out. I'm gonna come out after 3 minutes, and they all get a little bag because you did it one game. Like, that is so not okay. But some people probably think like that. They come from nothing, and 100%. All their homies have nothing, 100%. And they're like, bro, if I come out of this game after 3 minutes and y'all all hit on my under, we're all getting a little bag. You know what I mean? And I obviously my brother went through his situation. Malik Beasley's going through a situation right now. Terry Rozier was in some hot water. But the whole sports gambling entity, bro, it's bad, and it's only gonna get worse, bro. Like we really do get death threats. Like if you and the thing is you can't.
Somebody doesn't hit a parlay.
Crazy part is you can't win anymore because if I do too good, I'm messing up the people that bet on the under. And if they bet on my over, you know what I'm saying? So you're messing up some people's money.
We know Michael's the brother of now former Raptors forward John Porter, who was kicked out of the league for doing exactly what Michael was describing, a thing or not a thing.
Well, it's a huge thing, and I don't know how you corral it. I really don't. I guess if you got rid of props, maybe that. But no, I mean, it's a mess. This is why they've resisted for so long.
First things first, if you're sending somebody death threats over your betting, jail immediately. I need stiff penalties on this to make it to stop. The second thing, this is a bogus answer from him, and the fact that you're getting your homies out of a tough spot, they have nothing, because you're not getting rich betting somebody's under unless you're betting a lot of money. You have to bet a lot of money to make a lot of money on these bets because the odds aren't that great. So that's kind of a bogus answer too.
Yeah, good point out of you. All right, final hour on a First Friday. Get your officially endorsed at the end of it. Between then and now, two-a-days in the NFC East, the Giants and the Cowboys. Both of these look like they're going to have long, long seasons. We'll get to that coming up next. Bishop and Friends, right here on The Fan.
1, 2, 3. Here in The Fan is always football o'clock. Proud to be your home of the Buckeyes, Browns, and all the NFL games you can handle. The Fan.
You ever feel like your money is just lying around? Switch to Huntington Bank, and your money is always doing something.
Like what?
Like automatically pushing more to savings so you can take that trip.
I like trips.
Who doesn't? It even tracks your progress. You're almost there.
Well, I better pack.
And it charts your spending so you know which vacation hat you can afford.
How does it know I like hats?
Let's get more from money. Switch to Huntington Bank. Welcome. Eligibility requirements apply. Some features may require enrollment.
At Dick's Sporting Goods, we have always believed sport has the power to change lives. Community happens here. Change happens here. Sport happens here. Introducing the all-new Dick's House of Sport, bringing new experiences, new services, and unrivaled selection from the top brands to a new place Polaris can call home. Featuring a rock wall, a HitTrax multi-sport cage, and 3 golf hitting bays. Dick's House of Sport at Polaris Fashion Place. Grand opening celebration August 15th through August 17th.
Got a less than stellar auto loan? It's time to switch and save with CME. CME wants to beat your current rate by 1.5% APR. Plus, you won't make a single payment for 90 days. That's 3 whole months with no car payment and a better rate for the long haul. It's fast, easy, and smart. Refinance with CME today. Terms and conditions apply. Minimum floor rate of 4.99% APR. Federally insured by NCUA. Visit CMEFCU.org for additional details.
Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter, and Columbus football is back. And what better way to kick off the season than driving home in a tough, reliable 2024 Toyota Tacoma from Germain Toyota of Columbus. Right now, get 0% APR for up to 72 months with 20% down, or lease it for $239 a month for 36 months for 10,000 miles per year with $29.99 due at signing. Head to Germain Toyota of Columbus today on the corner of I-70 and Bryce Road. Your home for great deals all season long.
At Baths R Us, we believe home improvement is life improvement, and that starts with the team who brings your vision to life. Our installers aren't just skilled, they're experts.
This is who we are. This is what we do all day, every day.
Right now, get $1,500 off a shower or tub replacement, or $3,000 off a full bathroom remodel. Plus, low to no monthly payments. Call 380-225-BATH to schedule your free estimate, or go to bathsrus.com. 380-225-2284. Baths R Us, where dreams soak in.
I have a buddy who's going to be popping the question soon. He's planning everything out. He asked me, can you help me out with the ring? I said, of course I can. I've got a guy, Bob Capace from Worthington Jewelers. Now you talk, Bob.
Hi, I'm Bob Capace. I'm your guy.
Go in, see my friends at Worthington Jewelers, tell them I sent you, and you'll get the true VIP experience.
I'll treat them better than I treat you.
That's not hard. Worthington Jewelers on High Street in Worthington, worthingtonjewelers.com, where Columbus gets engaged. And tell them Common Man sent you.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use, now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu. My Computer Career, an elite CompTIA certification partner.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
He opens his toolbox before he opens his wallet and believes you can fix anything with 20 minutes and some pride. He's Mr. DIY, and when he needs metal, he goes to metal supermarkets. Artists, hobbyists, machine shops, maintenance professionals, and welders all count on metal supermarkets for over 8,000 metal products, shapes, and grades. If it's metal, they've got it or can get it for you. Cut to any size and ready fast. Visit the family-owned franchise on North Wilson Road or Columbus at metalsupermarkets.com.
Oh, no.
Ah, that's the sound of someone who's misplaced
my debit card.
Their debit card.
Where'd I leave that thing?
Not at the gas pump, or the checkout counter, or the roof of your car. Now, if he has the Chase mobile app, he can use Card Lock.
Wait, I could just lock my card.
Yep, just a few tippy taps on his phone, and that sound? That's peace of mind from Chase.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank N.A. member FDIC.
Every great team has its core players, but when the season gets tough, adding the right free agent can make all the difference. The same goes for business. At Robert Half, we found that 67% of companies surveyed plan to increase their use of contract talent to handle workload peaks and backlogged projects. With Robert Half's specialized recruiters experience, combined with our award-winning AI, you can quickly find the skilled candidates you want. At Robert Half, we know talent. Discover how we can help at roberthalf.com/talent.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
Good morning. I'm Eric Reeser. Both the Reds and Guardians look to start win streaks Wednesday. Cincinnati beat Philadelphia last night 6-1. Redlegs and Phillies go again tonight at 5:10 in the series rubber match. You can hear it over on ESPN Columbus. Hunter Green's expected to start tonight. He's been out since early June with a groin injury. Cincinnati's 2 games out of an NL wildcard spot. As for the Guardians, Cleveland beat Miami last night 4-3. Jose Ramirez had a go-ahead home run in the 8th. The win moves the Guardians one back of the Yankees in the final AL wildcard spot. A Tigers loss to the White Sox has Cleveland 5.5 back of Detroit in the AL Central. Guardians host the Marlins tonight at 6:40. In college sports, Kansas booster David Booth gave the university a reportedly record $300 million athletic department donation. This update sponsored by BMI Federal Credit Union. Swimming in debt with rates as low as 8.99% APR. Save your summer with a debt consolidation loan. Visit bmifcu.org/consolidate.
Producers, co-hosts, friends, some of those things are true. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
So it was the highest rated preseason football game ever on the NFL Network, or in 10 years, not ever. It's the highest one in 10 years. It was Shador Sanders on Friday night against Carolina. The Browns are over in Philly right now in joint practices, and they're in the middle of it. And as I mentioned, Joe Flacco getting most of the reps with the one, but it's beyond that where it gets a little interesting. Dylan Gabriel then got the reps in the 11-on-11 and 7-on-7, and actually Snoop Huntley got a rep in 7-on-7. Shador Sanders has not gotten a single rep in 7-on-7 or 11-on-11.
Keeping him fresh for Saturday.
Well, he said, and Stefanski said earlier, that if Dylan can't go Saturday health-wise, that Shador will start again on Saturday. But I do think that there's a way to kind of head this off at the pass in terms of maybe just say that. Maybe just say Shador's not going to get many reps here the next couple of days because he didn't get all the reps on Saturday.
Well, I was kidding.
Well, I'm not.
Oh.
Like, if he's not going to get reps, then I think they ought to let people know he's not going to get reps.
I think
because otherwise it becomes a story.
I think you've said it a lot that this current Browns organization views these joint practices more importantly than they do preseason games. So I think that does speak a lot to your earlier point that Flacco is the presumptive starter week 1 against the Cincinnati Bengals. You get him as much work as possible, and then you sprinkle in some Gabriel. Tyler Huntley gets a rep for some reason.
Why would Huntley ever get a rep?
Very good question.
Exactly. That's what I'm sitting here
wasting time.
Who needs to see more of Snoop Huntley?
Snoop Huntley's mom.
I mean, that's so far down. I just don't see any. Yeah, I don't know. It's a wild thing for him not to get any. I mean, certainly, as I've said, I think they view them all very differently, and that's been made clear by the actions and the way that they're handling it. But I'm surprised that Huntley would get a rep.
I feel like every day this Browns organization just baffles me. They do something to baffle me every day.
Yeah, they need. I do think there needs to be a little bit more transparency in terms of the thinking of this, and just explaining it a little bit, because I think there's a disconnect a little bit between the way that the fans are viewing this and the way that they are. So it's something that you should maybe just be a little bit more transparent with it. All right, 2-a-days in the NFC East. Hit it, fellas.
Bishop and Friends present 2-a-days, our preseason look around the league.
It's the NFC East. Yesterday we did the 2 teams that quite honestly both look like Super Bowl contenders. Today we will do the 2 teams that don't. The New York Giants, we will kick it off with 3-14 a year ago. I'll tell you, they do have some pieces. They have some pieces. They obviously landed on Malik Neighbors, who looks like the most explosive player in last year's draft. So he's in position. They've got some weapons on the outside that are interesting to me. Their offensive line is all right. It's not bad. Obviously, a lot of talent there. They drafted Abdul Carter, who most people thought there were 4 can't-miss guys in this draft. He was one of them. Mason Graham, and then obviously Travis, and a lot of people like Cam Ward. But, I mean, he was one of the guys, and so they got him as well. But they have been, since Eli has been gone, looking for a quarterback solution, and they went with the one-year patchwork solution here. So it'll be Russell Wilson up first. Jameis Winston is there as well, and then Jackson Dart is the guy who they drafted in the first round. This is one of those things where, like, what is probably best for the operation might not be best for the head coach and the GM, who quite honestly, after what happened with Saquon Barkley, I'm surprised the GM is still around there. But the reality is that Brian Daboll probably needs to win some games to prove that he's on the right path. And the best way to do that is probably not playing a rookie quarterback. But similar to Cleveland, by the end of this year, they got to know what Jackson Dart is.
Yeah, year 4 for Brian Daboll. Maybe should be his final. He feels to me more like a guy who's great at ball, great at calling ball, being a coordinator, developing talent. But the whole head coaching thing just hasn't quite hit. And probably won't hit with him because it's so much more than just being able to call football plays. Did a great job in Buffalo, but this is not an organization that needs the kind of inconsistency that Brian Daboll's brought with him throughout his career. Similarly to that front office, I think you need a clean sweep after this season, and maybe just start fresh with a high draft pick next year. Like 3-14. Maybe you copy and paste that record and you just say, all right, let's clean this up in 26.
So I have said before a lot of times, like, I never was on the Broncos hype a few years ago when they brought in Russ and people were like, oh, they're the next team because they were a 6-10 team. And I didn't think the quarterback play was going to change that much. I never believed in the Jets and that roster that everybody said. Aaron Rodgers, USA Today said they were going to the Super Bowl. And I was like, yeah, but this team was just a 6-10 team. Like, and I look at this Giants team, and I feel like I've got to be consistent with this, but I feel like this is a team that has pieces. Like, that pass rush and that defensive line is brutal. I mean, what they did to the Browns last year was insane. And they don't have a bad offensive line. Like, Andrew Thomas is a really good left tackle. And they've got Malik Neighbors and, like, their secondary. I'm looking at their secondary. Their safeties are really good. They've got a lot of pieces here. So it kind of goes back to what you were saying, Reese. I feel like Brian Daboll just isn't the guy. Like, I feel like the coaching there has been really, really bad the past couple years. And Daboll was really good as an offensive coordinator in Buffalo with Josh Allen, but it just is not working with him as a head coach.
He got the job to get the most out of Danny Dimes. That's why he got the job, because they compared him now not in the same league, but they compared similarly to Josh Allen. So that's how he got the job. This is what he did with Josh. Let's see if he can do it with Danny Dimes. Well, Danny Dimes is gone. But if Dart hits, everything else is pretty good. And I do think they'll be better than their 3-14 record was a year ago. I like their roster a little bit. Let's hit the categories on the G-Man. Fantasy sleeper.
To me, it is the guy they drafted out of Arizona State, and that's Cam Scatterbo. Of course, yeah. Tyrone Tracy was a nice story for them last year. The wide receiver out of Purdue turned running back, and he had a pretty decent year for them. I don't really trust Devin Singletary as a backup. Like, when I see Cam Scatterbo, makes me think of Peyton Hillis, touchdown Tommy Vardell, Mike Allstott. Like, I like that dude. I feel like that dude's a bruiser, especially in the red zone.
Yep.
That guy's going to get the end zone.
Giants have a bye in week 14. Russell Wilson. Right?
Russell Wilson ain't going to be starting in week 14.
Well, maybe then Jameis Winston.
I think it'll be Dart.
One of the quarterbacks,
the back half of the season.
I think you're comfortable picking up later just to have on your roster.
Scatterbo is probably the answer.
Well, yeah,
that's kind of the one. I think he could be one of those guys who has a very. Would it shock me if he ran for 1,000 yards? Not crazy. Wouldn't. Do they have the right QB, Bake?
Russ, no. Jackson Dart, incomplete. Right? We don't know. We haven't seen it.
They don't. Not in that room. Not Tommy Cutlets. Not Jameis Winston as well. I think if you're able to clean house in the front office and retain a lot of those key pieces that you guys like so much, you draft your own quarterback in 2026, and then you make it go with him.
They gave up. They took Dart in the first round. He had some just stupefying throws. He had a throw last year in the Florida game that they had to have that was just... What are you doing? But then he also beat Georgia. He started a lot, played a lot there. I am not sold on him. I didn't love him in the process, but maybe I'll be proven wrong on that. Coolest to ever wear the uniform. Bake?
So when I was young, I remember the Giants going to the Super Bowl right away, and they kind of became my second team. I liked their colors. I liked Phil Simms. He was a guy with blonde hair and blue eyes, like me growing up back in the days when I had hair. And for some reason, I fell in love with Otis Anderson around then as the running back.
Yeah,
but I'm not picking Otis Anderson. It's Lawrence Taylor. Yeah. LT.
Michael Strahan for me. I mean, Victor Cruz is really cool. Salsa dancing in the end zone, but they did, Michael Strahan's now everywhere. If you turn on the television, he's pretty cool back in the day, too.
Yeah, they've got a lot of them. I think the correct answer is LT, just for all that he was. I mean, the lightning bolt earring, like all of it. Frank Gifford was pretty cool way back in the day.
Yeah,
I mean,
way back.
Yeah, he's big time in terms of kind of a playboy before there was such a thing, or maybe there was such a thing and we just didn't know about it. I'll tell you what, Odell Beckham, for a short period of time there, was about the coolest player in football. Odell Beckham, at the time that the Browns acquired him, was the most followed NFL player on social media by far. By far. There was a time that Odell was the coolest player on the planet, for sure.
I never caught the Odell Beckham coolness. Like, I've never liked him. Never been a fan. Like, he was the Justin Herbert of wide receivers to me.
He was a really good dude and was just broken, I think, by them trading him. I think it wounded him so much, the idea that they traded him. What is this team this year, Bake?
I do think they're a little better, but not much. I still think them and the Cowboys are going to be battling for the bottom of this division, and I think they're like a 6-11 team, quite frankly. I don't think they're very good.
I think this screams 4-13. They got to play the AFC West and the NFC North, and they've got to see the Eagles and the Commanders twice, and they'll probably split a game, or they'll probably split the series with the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, I think that's it. I think, they're clearly not a playoff team, and we'll see. I think it's a massive year for that whole operation. Franchise grade for the Giants.
Maybe I am hanging on to that 1987 team a little too much, but I have it as a B. Maybe that's too high.
No, I mean, you got 4 Super Bowls in our lifetime, Bake.
I got it as a C+. I mean, the Sportico valuations came out today, and they're, I think, third, $10.25 billion. Mm-hmm. Like, that's a slightly above average organization, I think, all time.
I think it's a B+, A- all time. They're in a tough spot now, but they've won 4 Super Bowls in my life. They're one of the oldest franchises that there are. They're the G-men. You went over the valuation of the franchise. They're not great right now, but I still think they still have Mars in ownership. They still have all of those things and all the advantages. I still think people want to play for the Giants. So I'm going to go B+, but it's really close. I think it's like an 88, 89. We'll do the Dallas Cowboys coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Winners of the prestigious Platinum Microphone Award every year, given to the best radio station in the world. No need to look it up. It's real. The Fan.
Men, summertime is here, and that means vacations, summer barbecues, outdoor parties, camping, beaches, and so much more. This is Jeff for Tri-State Men's Health, and if you're like many men, you may not be feeling like yourself this summer. Perhaps your energy is low and you aren't sleeping well. Maybe your workouts aren't as good as they used to be, and if what I'm describing is you, it's very likely you're suffering with low testosterone. But low T doesn't have to affect you anymore. Just call Tri-State Men's Health, get treated, and see how it changes your life. If you're like most men, you'll feel so much better. Deeper sleep, improved vitality and clarity, greater strength and energy, and an enhanced sex drive as well. So call us. Just $99 gets you a PSA and T-test and a medical consult. And if you start on testosterone the day of your appointment, your visit is free. Call 800-900-9654. That's 800-900-9654. Or go to tristatemenshealth.com. We have 6 offices across the tri-state area to serve you.
Hey guys, it's Timmy Hall, and I want to talk to you about the roof over your head. You know that thing that protects your house and everything in it? It's pretty important, and a lot of you are going to have to replace it soon, but be warned. There are companies out there that skip over the biggest part of the process, the attic ventilation. You see, if that attic doesn't have proper circulation, it can cause problems such as mold and rot. You got rot, and not to mention leaks in the wintertime and higher AC bills in the summer. This is one of the reasons I'm telling you about my guys at Victor's Home Solutions. Foundations. They start with a free 21-point roof inspection, including a thorough inspection of that attic as well. They know that if that ventilation isn't right, that roof's going to be built on a shaky foundation. That's why every Victor's roof comes with a well-thought-out attic ventilation plan, and that's why they can offer a 50-year leak-free guarantee on every roof they install. Money-saving discounts and financing incentives are also available. Call for your free 21-point roof inspection and get that estimate today. 866-VICTORS or go to victors.com.
I can't wait to meet her. Oh my gosh.
Put your hands together for new Dr. Pepper Blackberry and Dr. Pepper Blackberry Zero Sugar.
There she is! Woohoo! Yeah! It's full Dr. Pepper!
With sweet blackberry flavor!
Dr. Pepper Blackberry, I'm obsessed with your succulent taste. Please marry me!
No! Marry me, or I'm gonna freak out!
Try new Dr. Pepper Blackberry.
It's a pepper thing!
Matty Ice here from McDaniel GM Superstore in Marion. I recently brought a brand new Chevy Trax from McDaniel GM Superstore. It was by far the best car purchase I have ever made. And right now, you can get a 2025 Trax at McDaniel GM Superstore for as low as $20,995. They will treat you like family, just like they treated me like family. They're just a short drive north off Route 23 in Marion, or you can visit McDanielGMSuperstore.com. Chevrolet, together, let's drive.
In the old days when people lived to be 40, you only had one option for listening to your favorite show. But now, ooh, baby, radio, podcast, the Fan app, and YouTube, ooh, just to name a few, live or on demand. You have no excuses. The Fan.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty, and I buy real estate as is, fast for cash. Do you want to sell your property, however, you need a little help getting through the process? Let's say you have years of belongings in the home. It needs a lot of updating. You're overwhelmed. You might not be big on technology, and you may need help finding a place to go. I will help you. Maybe you've gone through a divorce or a bad breakup or a relative moved out. It's been hard, and you just want to take what you want and leave the rest behind. I will help you. Retiring and want to sell your commercial properties or land. I will help you. Sellers, whether you're selling as is or selling for top dollar, you're no longer alone. Visit us today at TurboTrackRealty.com or call me now for an all-cash offer and, more importantly, the help you need at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Have the umbrella handy by the time the kids are getting out of school or you're getting out of work. We are going to see chances of scattered showers and thunderstorms, some which could have heavy downpours and gusty winds. Otherwise, skies will be mostly to partly cloudy with highs in the upper 80s. For tonight, those chances of rain taper off overnight with our lows down into the 70s. Otherwise, skies will be partly sunny and highs in the upper 80s. For The Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfalo with your 10 weather impact forecast.
Oh, hey, the best football team in the country's on the best radio station in the country. Congratulations, Buckeyes. Here's to 100 more years together. Your home of the Buckeyes, The Fan. The uncle you never knew you had. The friends you kind of wish you didn't. This is Bishop and Friends.
Isn't it wild that the Dallas Cowboys, who I'm sure would be number one on that list of yours, Reese, of most valuable franchises on the planet, have not played in a Super Bowl since 1995.
It's 30 years.
That's right.
Yeah, I'm
not
convinced
played in a Super Bowl
that today was Jarrett Jones' Super Bowl. When Sportico comes out and says his organization is valued at $12.8 billion, that's up 24% year to year. He views that as hoisting his Lombardi trophy. Or else, why wouldn't he pay Micah Parsons?
Yeah. Well, I think he likes the attention with that.
Loves that.
I said this last year. I remember last year during the season we talked about this. It was before the year. Might have been doing two-a-days. And we noticed like that they don't spend on free agents at all. Like, it just makes you think, like, you wonder, does Jerry really care about winning, or does he just care about the business of football?
It's been a good business for him, though.
It's a great business. Bought him for $100 million.
$150 million.
Yeah.
I saw every dollar he spent has turned into $84.33.
God. Yeah.
It's a good living.
It is. It's the best business in the world. You don't have that return on anything the way you do NFL franchises.
Did you see Jerry also today drop that he beat stage 4 cancer?
No.
Yeah, he threw that out there today that he beat stage 4 cancer recently.
Wow. No, I didn't see. I missed that. Yeah, I look at this team and they're nowhere near a Super Bowl.
No.
They're not. They have some pieces. Dak is what is this, year 9 for Dak as the quarterback? A year ago, we were talking about, him with would he get his contract done, and then they did, and then he got hurt. I look at the backfield, like Javonte Williams is a guy who people thought a lot of when he was in Denver, but he blew his knee out. Obviously, they're very talented at receiver with CeeDee Lamb, and then they get George Pickens in a trade, which that feels like that's going to be a disaster, him there.
What could go wrong?
Right. In the meantime, they got this Micah Parsons thing hanging over all of it, but it seems to me like a road to nowhere operation.
It's crazy to me with all of the history of running backs there. Tony Dorsett, Herschel Walker, Emmitt Smith, Zeke, that this is the running back room we're throwing out here for the Dallas Cowboys. Like, this is a joke to me. And Bo, I will die on this hill if the Pittsburgh Steelers get rid of a talented playmaker in their prime, run like the wind.
There's a reason. There is a reason. If that, no question, be a good rule to live by. They're 7-10 last year. To me, they feel like they're somewhere in that vicinity. They're nowhere in the vicinity. And now Dak's good enough, and they got enough weapons on offense that they could be in some shootouts. But this is like a destitute Cincinnati Bengals to me. That's what they look like to me, like just a destitute version of the Bengals. And the Bengals obviously are a team that I think can win the Super Bowl because their offense is that good despite their struggles defensively. Let's hit the categories on the Cowboys. Fantasy sleeper in Dallas.
To me, I just mentioned that shambles of a running back room.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like if there is a guy in there that has some upside, it's Miles Sanders. Somebody's got to run the ball. So I think that's the guy I go with.
Yeah, I had him and Javonte Williams written down. I'm like, if Williams is healthy, they got to give the ball to a person. Why not those two in a PPR league? Like, Miles Sanders could do some good for you if you get him late with a late value pick. Why not?
Jadon Blue was at Texas?
Yeah.
Correct.
You touched on the national championship game?
Yeah, he might be.
Semifinal?
He might be in the mix a little bit there. I think Pickens this year will have a big year, too. I don't know if he's sleeper or not, but I think he'll have a big year playing off of CeeDee Lamb, and I think they'll throw it around a lot because I think they're going to be behind in a lot of games. So watch for Pickens a little bit, too. Do they have the right quarterback in Dallas, Bake?
I got to say, I think so. Like, I think Dak Prescott takes some slings and arrows that maybe aren't warranted. I actually almost feel like Dak deserves better than what he's going to get this year in this Cowboys organization. This guy made Mississippi State the #1 team in the country.
Yes, he did.
Like, that's a dude, like, he may not be the most talented quarterback, but I think he's off the charts in the intangibles and leadership, and guys want to follow him. So I think Dak is the right guy.
I think he's plenty talented, though.
I'm going to say not anymore. I think because they lost Zach Martin last year. I think he's now, Dak is, DeMarcus Lawrence left. Like, Dak's the longest tenured Cowboy. Like, maybe it's time. I mean, if I thought Jerry Jones was actually serious about this, winning a Super Bowl before he goes, then he'd maybe move on from the whole thing. But it was Dak. I don't think so now.
He's going into year 10.
33, I think, in the season.
He'll turn 32. His career record is 76-46. Which is incredible. When he plays, they win. I mean, he's only in terms of the games that their record when he plays. I just went over the overall record, but when he plays 16 games, it's 13-3, it's 10-6, 11-5, 12-5. Like, I think they do. I think I'm probably close to Bake. I think they do have the right quarterback. I just don't know if it's the right one, to Reese's point, for this team right now, because I don't think this team's going anywhere. Coolest player ever. Good Lord, they got a lot.
They really do, and I can't, unfortunately, speak on Roger Staubach, or maybe you could even go Tom Landry here. That all of that was before my time. There's so many good ones. It's hard to go against Troy Aikman, but I think Michael Irvin. has got to be the guy if we're talking just cool.
Emmitt Smith was kind of one of the first NFL players that I can ever remember. And just how good of a player he was cool.
Tony Dorsett.
They had Zeke. Zeke wearing the 21 with the shirt, hat, all of those things.
Wasn't he the first to jump in the charity?
He did.
Salvation Army kettle.
Yeah, Salvation Army kettle.
Yeah. Clay Hall with a Hail State for the Bulldogs and Dak. Look, he was an all-timer, man. They were number one. That was a good time. I think it's probably it's hard to. We did all of this. We didn't even mention Deion Sanders. He played there too, but I think it is Michael Irvin because he won on every level, and he's the coolest. What is this team this year, Bake?
They were 7-10 last year, and I feel like they're exactly that this year. Mm-hmm. And if they do anything, I think it's maybe a step back to 6-11. But I've got them right there, same as last season.
Yeah, I got 6-11. They're in, I think, a better quarterback spot right now than the Giants. But you've still got to take on the AFC West and the NFC North. So good luck.
If Dak stays healthy, they're going to be above 500. There's only 2 instances in his career, and it was a 5-start season in 2020 and an 8-start season last year where they was under 500. So to me, they're 9-8. Yeah, that would do it. 9-8, something like that. It feels like maybe 8-9, but right in that. I don't think they're a playoff team. Franchise grade for the boys. Bake?
I had A written down on my paper, but after those numbers Reese read, A+. Like, they're winning at the business of football. They're probably the most recognizable football franchise in the world. So, A+.
Yeah, I've got them an A- just because I want to bring them down for their owner and his lack of paying free agents. This dance he's doing with Micah Parsons, which he's done with a lot of other players, and just the idea that he's got an NFL team that hasn't won anything in 30 years, yet they're still worth this much money. It hurts for me to put an A on this because it's just like, why can't you win more on the field? But Jerry, I truly do believe this. His Super Bowl is making those valuation lists, the top of them. Winning that is what matters to him.
I think it's an A+ brand. I think it's an A+ vision of running a business. Stadium's an A+. All of that is as big as can be. And I'll tell you, when you go to Dallas, and Bob told me this, and the first time I went, I started to pay attention to it. Like, you cannot even wrap your head around what it's like being a Dallas Cowboy in Dallas. You just can't. It's being a Laker. It's Real Madrid. It's just crazy how important the Cowboys are to Dallas. But they haven't won. And so that keeps them out of the A+ for me. I think it's an A- just because they just haven't even really flirted with being a Super Bowl contender. Really. Have they ever even? I don't know. Since 95, I don't know if I've went into any year thinking the Cowboys are going to win the Super Bowl since 1995. That's 30 years. It's a long time. Jess Haney going to join us, blogging the boys, in 2 minutes with some perspective on the Cowboys and the division. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone, and I've got a public service announcement for your taste buds. The legendary Sanders Bumpy Cake is finally here in Ohio. Yes, that Sanders Chocolate Fudge Bumpy Cake. Rich devil's food cake topped with smooth buttercream bumps and smothered in thick chocolatey fudge. I'm getting hungry just thinking about it. It's the dessert you didn't know you needed until now. Perfect for your next barbecue, tailgate, or a family function. And if you've never had one of these, well, trust me, once you try it, you're going to be hooked. Grab your Sanders Bumpy Cake today at Kroger or Meijer and taste what the hype's all about.
Skyline is introducing a new chicken chili. Come get that world-famous Skyline flavor you love with a new protein option. Try the new Skyline chicken chili on Waze, Coney's, and all your Skyline favorites. At Columbus Skyline locations only while supplies last.
Need help with budgeting, debt, or savings goals? CME's certified financial counselors are here for you. Free, confidential, and ready to guide you with real-life solutions. Let's tackle your goals together. Terms and conditions apply. Federally insured by NCUA. Visit CMEFCU.org for additional details.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with autopay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just 1 cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here. Based on analysis by Ookla Speed Test Intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025. Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 in monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at T-Mobile.com.
All your favorite fan shows are available when you want them.
Head to 971thefan.com and hit that subscribe button.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Find us on YouTube. Search WBNS Radio and you can see what Bo looks like. But only if you subscribe. This is Bishop and Friends.
All right, let's get some perspective on the Cowboys. We head out on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. Jess Haney covers the boys at Blogging the Boys on SB Nation. He joins us now. Jess, thank you so much for taking the time. Let's just start with, how do you view the 2025 Dallas Cowboys, and is it different than the way their owner views them?
I'm sure it's different than how the owner views them. Because the owner's very happy right now with his Netflix documentary and Forbes evaluation and all those things that are going on. As far as the 2025 Cowboys, I mean, you've got a team that, last year was wrecked by injuries. So to say like last year's record meant anything, it really didn't. But best case scenario, if they're still the team that was winning 12 games in the regular season and crapping out in the playoffs, then okay. Like if we're just back to that point, I think that that's a good thing for a first year head coach, but we're going to have to really see some stuff to at least know we're back to that level.
Yeah, Jess, that's the thing that is wild to me, because it's funny. We were having a conversation about it, and what you just said is kind of what we were kind of having the conversation about. Like, does Jerry care about winning, or does he care about what's happened with that brand? And you mentioned the Netflix, and he's in Landman, like he's doing all these things. I always thought that all he wanted was one more ring truly on his own, but it's been 30 years.
Well, you're dealing with someone who has, in a sense, it's almost a dual personality because he has two very different jobs. He's the owner and the general manager. The GM part of him wants to win. The GM part of him wants to prove it wasn't all Jimmy Johnson. He's been trying to do that for 30 years, but that's still there. But then there's the owner part of him, the original part of buying the Dallas Cowboys and doing all the things he's done with them from a business perspective, and that is where his success has been. That's why he's in the Hall of Fame. So it's not surprising when he seems very split and kind of talking out of both sides of his mouth, because there are two sides to his role with the Cowboys. Unfortunately, you've now got I think he's 82, 83-year-old man trying to do two jobs, one of which he probably has never qualified for to begin with. So it's not a great situation.
How do you end up with Brian Schottenheimer?
I'll tell you, I think Brian Schottenheimer reminded Jerry so much of one of his favorite sons of the team, Jason Garrett. Mm-hmm. I do really think that he liked Brian. I don't think this was the Dave Campo, I'm just going to bring in my puppet kind of move that a lot of people made it out to be. I think it was much more, he really liked Brian. He saw the things he loved about Jason Garrett in Brian, and to him it was just kind of like the easy move. And obviously the players liked Brian. So in terms, and you really did get the feel toward the end that there was it wasn't overly publicized, and we had, I think, good citizens on the roster who didn't make it public. We didn't have a diva wide receiver who would have blown it up, but I don't think that Mike McCarthy had many fans in the locker room at the end.
Yeah.
You just had that feeling of toxicity, and more things have come out since he left that made it clear that was the case. So I think that was part of the Schottenheimer move too, was rubbing some salve into the unity of the roster.
All right. Let's do the other part that's hanging over all of this, which is Micah. There's stuff that happens nationally, and it's obviously a talking point. It's the Cowboys. We get it. Your boots on the ground. What is this situation? How do you think it resolves itself? And is this as big a deal as it seems from the outside looking in?
I know that it's so frustrating to fans when they hear, don't worry so much, not a big deal, yada, yada, because it feels like it should be. But Micah Parsons is there in Oxnard every day. Mm-hmm. He's walking around the sidelines. He's with his teammates. He's talking to coaches. This is not – the hostility is not there in the day-to-day. Yes, they're saying things in the media, but I increasingly feel that there is a certain degree of showmanship in all of this. And I've said it on social media. You've got a player with a very strong media presence who is an unabashed pro wrestling fan. and you've got an owner / GM who is really feeling himself right now about his role in a TV show and all this other stuff going on in media. And I think that there is a degree maybe of, not necessarily that they're Vince McMahon and Stone Cold Steve Austin here, but I mean, at the very least, I do feel like they're playing it up.
Buddy, when you're going through that, that's all I'm thinking is Stone Cold and Vince, and it kind of works. It does kind of work. Like, all of it kind of works. And yeah, I mean, that makes me feel good because I've kind of been on the line of like, let me know when he misses games. Then I'll pay attention to this thing. Like, up until that point, I think it's much ado about nothing. I look at this roster offensively, provided Dak's back healthy. We know what George Pickens can do. Obviously, we know some of the off-field stuff as well, but there is some weaponry there. It is wild to me that the running back situation is as it looks for an organization that's had the running backs that they have. Will it be a committee at running back, and is there any other concern on this team other than that, based on the way you look at it? Because I think the firepower will be there on the outside.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I have bigger concerns than running back. I mean, when we talk about the offensive line or the cornerback depth or even some of the starters, like that, those are bigger issues to me as far as what will affect wins and losses than the running back situation. I do feel, yes, they've underinvested at running back to a point, but to be fair, Rico Dowdle, when he finally started getting starter workhorse touches last year, he was the third most productive back in the league behind Barkley and Henry, statistically.
Yeah.
I mean, so I think that they feel like, hey, if we get this offensive line straightened out, just about anybody could be a, productive back. That's not always true, but I do think they have a decent enough mix of guys. And after what we saw Saturday night with Phil Maffa and Malik Davis, it's like, I think they got enough guys that can throw at the wall and find productivity. It's just, it's not the days of Zeke and Emmett or even Tony Pollard. It's like they're really going for the bargain deal, but it worked out last year with Dowdle.
It certainly did. All right. So you're 7-10, Dak comes back. One thing we do around here with like Ohio State football is, all right, how are we going to judge them? Like, what standard are we holding this to? I look at this roster. I would not hold them to the standard that I hold Philly to, and probably not Washington either. But your boots on the ground with it. What is this team in 2025?
This is a team that will, if they avoid injury, I mean, they should be in the playoff wild card discussion. But that's not that hard sometimes. Some years, like, you only need 9 or 10 wins to be in that discussion. But then other years, like, you've got wild card teams with 13, 14 wins. So, I mean, it really depends on the year. It depends on the rest of the NFC too. But the Cowboys should have enough things, like you mentioned. I mean, when you've got a mature, proven, at least regular season quarterback, when you've got a franchise receiver and now maybe two, and when you've got a Micah Parsons, who, again, we're confident he's going to play, spearheading the defense. I mean, those are things that can generally propel you to wins, and this has been the Cowboys for the last 5 years. You're going to beat the bad to average teams more often than not. It's going up against the elite where they struggle. And this is going to probably be the first time in a long time that they may have two really good to elite teams in their own division. So that may make a difference.
Jess, I'll get you out of here on this one. How are the Cowboys viewed in Dallas, and specifically, how is Jerry viewed in Dallas?
Well, I'll be honest with you. I'm not a Dallas guy. I'm in Virginia.
Okay.
Myself. But I work with a lot of Dallas guys and fans, and the best I can tell is the loyalty. People used to talk for years and years about the bandwagon, Cowboys bandwagon. If you are still rooting for the Cowboys, you are not a bandwagon fan at this point.
No, you're not.
The wheels came off that a long time ago.
Yeah.
So I think there is still a very deep love and loyalty for the team. I think Jerry Jones is, at this point, it's kind of like, well, what are you going to do?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think you have to kind of accept he is who he is. I don't think many people are like, wow, he's so great. I know a lot of fans appreciate him as the owner because of all the great things he does for the team, and the stadium's beautiful and all that stuff. But I think that I don't think a lot of people think, oh, we have the best ownership GM situation you could ask for. But what do you do about it? So you just have to accept, and you have to hope, and there's still a lot of hope. Every year we cycle through the optimism that everybody gets geared up again, and until we find a reason not to be.
Great stuff, man. It's the most valuable team for a reason. And by the way, you look at the ratings; they're still there. They're the number one team by far. And you're right. There is no. It's 30 years, man. There's no bandwagon to jump on. You're a diehard if you're there. Great talking to you, Jess. Thank you so much for your time.
Thanks for having me.
All right, there he goes, Jess Haney, blogging the boys, SB Nation on the Bryan Heating and Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. Get your officially endorsed in 3 things on a First Friday. Up next, Bishop and Friends, right here on the Fan.
You've still got it, but your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Ready. This Ohio State football training camp report is brought to you locally on the Fan by Weber Grills.
Ohio State football training camp report.
This report is brought to you statewide by Safelite Auto Glass and Bob's Discount Furniture. We talked a lot about new players in new roles, the running back group among them, and running backs coach Carlos Loughlin getting a big group ready to compete.
It's 6 guys now. You better compete every day. You keep saying it's 2 different guys. Ain't nobody in that room around. They ain't done a damn thing here yet. So everybody in there compete. I don't want my kids having that in their head. They need to come out where I'm not on the field. I got to compete. Got to come to work every day because ain't nothing going to be given here. So their mindset is I better come to work every day. I better be on special teams. I better be 46 A to B plus 2. That's the mindset Coach Day wants. I better do that every day. So that better be their mindset. And I'm worried about, it's a 2-man rotation. You better be worried about, what I'm showing on film every day.
We'll have more after this.
Summer is here, and it's time to plan your style staycation with Bob's Discount Furniture, where you can find everyday low prices on the hottest styles. The comfiest Consumer Reports recommended mattresses, flexible financing to fit your budget, and fast, friendly delivery. So stock up and score everyday low prices, delivered on time all summer long at your nearest store or at mybobs.com. Oh, my Bob! Bob's Discount Furniture, proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Hi, this is Paul Keels. This Buckeye season, don't let a broken windshield ruin your game plan. Safelite Auto Glass makes it easy to get your windshield fixed with their mobile glass shops all over Central Ohio. They can come to you anywhere, giving Buckeye fans more time for game time. OH? Man, I love that. Schedule at safelite.com. Safelite Auto Glass is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Safelite repair, Safelite replace.
This is the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State Athletics.
Among those competing at the running back spot for Ohio State to start the season, the guy who had the most carries of returning players, James Peoples.
When you running behind in practice, those guys, for a whole year, you really get familiar with the scheme. And then mentally, I've gotten stronger. Coach Day, Coach Locke, they've been challenging me, my mental, because it's a long season, and you got to be strong up here, of course, not just physically, and just developing us as people, so all around just getting stronger that way.
And the guy looking to contribute as well, West Virginia transfer, C.J. Donaldson.
It's just being consistent and being persistent, going through adversity, and how did I respond to adversity. That's something
Coach Locke preaches how you go respond to adversity. You got to respond with a smile. So I think that's something that kind of helped me. I went through a little bit of adversity early on. I kind of responded to it very well. So that was something.
Another of those who will look to contribute is returning player Sam Dixon. The season opener for the Buckeyes is August 30th when they host the Texas Longhorns. We'll have another report tomorrow. This is Paul Keels, and you're listening to the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
We've had an incredible year, Buckeyes fans. It's time to celebrate the offseason with warmer weather, long nights, and incredible grilled food. Weber Grills has everything you need to have a winning summer. From our newest line of Spirit gas grills to our award-winning Searwood wood pellet and slate griddle grill, Weber Grills is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Learn more at Weber.com.
Go behind the scenes of one of the most recognizable landmarks in all of college athletics with a tour of Ohio Stadium presented by Experience Columbus. A seasoned redcoat will be your guide as you make your way through walls of the stadium, into the press box, and onto the field. Upgrade to the VIP package and get special access to the band center and the Ohio State home locker room. From corporate outings and school groups to single-person tours and small families, Ohio Stadium tours offer a variety of options and pricing. For more information, visit ohiostatebuckeyes.com and book your tour. Ohio Stadium Tours, presented by Experience Columbus.
Patients everywhere are experiencing joint pain relief thanks to QC Kinetics regenerative treatments. So how does this non-surgical approach work? QC Kinetics Medical Director Dr. Aaron Wolkoff explains.
It's like when you get a paper cut and the cells that come onto that scene first stop the bleeding, and then it recruits more cells to form new skin and new soft tissue. And then you look down a week later, 2 weeks later, and it's like nothing happened and that paper cut never existed.
In this same way, QC Kinetics uses your natural biologics to help repair and restore aching knees, hips, shoulders, and backs.
We take those same similar cells in different areas that are arthritic, are painful, and we cause this kind of internal self-healing that can resolve patients' pain.
Relief without surgery. See if you're a candidate for QC Kinetics regenerative treatments.
Call QC Kinetics 380-208-4544. That's 380-208-4544. 380-208-4544.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for over 75 years. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
The best hair on the air. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
All right, Reese, what do we have on the poll today?
The Daily Fan poll asks, do you feel robbed that Texas and Ohio State is not 1 versus 2 in the AP preseason top 25? No, 58%. Yes, 42%.
I mean, we're going to call it 1 versus 2. One of the polls has it 1 versus 2. That's all that matters to us. It's number 1 versus number 2. We like coaches more than media anyway. All right, time for your first Friday officially endorsed. Hit it, guys.
Bishop and Friends present First Friday, officially endorsed, because everyone deserves 2 Fridays.
Sponsored by Hydrate Me Med Spa. Feel better, recover faster, live optimized with Hydrate Me.
Drink for the wrong reasons. My generation, we drink because it's good, because it feels better than unbuttoning your collar, because we deserve it. We drink because it's what men do.
Yeah, we're inching closer to football season here, and with all these noon starts, I'm going to give you a little window into what you ought to be doing early on and with your tailgating. It's something that is very, very popular. I've done it before. Very popular out west. It's a red beer, a bloody beer. Typically out west, you'll see it with tomato juice, but I like using Clamato with it. So you need your Big Yeti. You need to put a Yellow Jacket in there, garage beer in there, a Modelo, any of those things. Coors Light, throw it in there, fill it up, and then splash the top of it with Clamato, and then hit it with a little bit of celery salt around the rim, and away you go. A little bit of vitamins, a little bit of substance, a little bit of hydration. Everybody wins. It's perfect for a noon kick. It is a staple of Western tailgates, and I'll be damned if I'm not going to make it a staple of one here. It is delicious, and officially you're endorsed as we're getting closer and closer to football season being upon us. Time for 3 things. Hit it, guys.
1, 2, 3 things.
Sponsored by Buckeye Lake Marina, Central Ohio's largest selection of new and pre-owned boats. Find your next dream boat at BuckeyeLakeMarina.com.
Number 1 for me, Kyle Brandt can do a lot of things. For a guy who was on the Real World, played football at Princeton, was a actor on Days of Our Lives, and he's been doing Good Morning Football for a long time. And with the ESPN thing, I was curious how it went, but he's in with the Mannings, and he's hosting a Mannings Cast style show with Vice Sports, where they take a look at old games with, for example, comedians and kind of revisit them. And he does one with Sebastian Maniscalco, who I think is like the funniest guy on the planet right now. It's very good. I recommend it. Go check it out if you're looking for a laugh and to revisit some old classic NFL games.
First thing for me, sometime earlier in the week, images were leaked of a $1,000 Lego Death Star that's soon to be available to purchase. The thing's got over 9,000 pieces.
Yeah.
With 32 character pieces. Like, I remember Legos being pretty expensive, but I don't remember anything like that.
It was brought to my attention by the boys.
Do they want this?
I don't think any of them have the ambition to put that type of thing together, but yeah, they're aware of it. I was made aware of this yesterday.
First thing for me, and I did not realize it had been over 2 months, but Hunter Green is returning to the Reds from the IL tonight. He's going to start against the Phillies. Hunter Green has had a hard time staying healthy in his career. Please, Mr. Green, give me 2 months here of health and help get this Reds team into the playoffs. I will forever be indebted to you.
All right, we were curious why Shador Sanders got no reps in practice with the Browns, and we said, why didn't you just say that in the beginning that he wasn't? But we did have some clarification on that. Kelsey Russo, who's in-house with the Browns, reporting that Shador Sanders injured his oblique throwing early in practice and was held out of practice the remainder of it over in Philly per the team. So there you go. There had to be a reason for it. There it is.
Second thing for me, this was something that the Indianapolis Colts introduced last season. It was a horseshoe-shaped pretzel, and it looked like a turd. And they've announced that they're going to continue the turd pretzel this season. I think they have their first home preseason game coming up in week 2 of the preseason. And I don't understand the idea of continuing something that's really dumb. And then I realized I'm a Browns fan.
Beats it all, right? Second thing for me, I want to make sure we get this in because it's a big day on Rothman and Ice. They'll have Adam Schefter coming up. Lots to talk about with him, with the James Cook contract, the Jordan Love injury, all kinds of things going on there. They'll also have the general, Bob Carpenter, on the show as well.
Number 3 for me, here is today's example of the children need to go back to school. So Bootsy had a sleepover the other night, and I said, all right, you need to walk the property and pick up all the buddy poops that are there. This is usually a task I do, and the reason I do it is because they suck at it. They're terrible. So I sent NBC and Bootsy to go do the task before that, because I don't like kids running around in the yard and stepping in it, right? Just simple. Let's do it a couple times a week. So I said, did you do it? Yep. So then I go grab the shovel, because I know they didn't do it to the level that they should have. And what did I find? Not 5 paces from the sport court? Buddy poop.
An Indianapolis Colts pretzel.
Guess how many I found? 5. I mean, go back to school. You guys suck at everything else.
Second thing third and final thing for me, because counting's important. We talked about the Dallas Cowboys being ranked first in Sportico's 2025 NFL team valuations at $12.8 billion. That's a 24% increase. I think it is the Rams and the Giants who increased 34% year over year. Rams are second at $10.43 billion, Giants $10.25 billion. Cleveland Browns $6.14 billion, but they still are up 19% year to year. The last team on this list, the Cincinnati Bengals, at $5.5 billion, but still up 17% year over year in valuation. To the point that everybody makes, sports is the best business to get into.
Well, I'm going to rain on your parade a little bit since you did it to me twice earlier. Why are kids going back to school right now? It's the middle of August. Like, there's no way. Dude. I understand they got to have 2 hot days and 2 cold days, teacher needs a break day. But what are we doing? Labor Day to Memorial Day. There's no way they're learning anymore.
I think you're fair on that, but as a parent of them, it's time. It is time. Enjoy your first Friday. Act accordingly. Rothman and Ice up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
All the Ohio State conversation you can handle. The Buckeye Show.
Weeknights at 6.
Your Ohio State flagship station. The Fan.
Common Man here. Our friends at Care Heating and Cooling in Lenox are feeling the love. They're doing something extraordinary for Central Ohio families. The Lenox Feel the Love program provides deserving families and individuals with indoor heating and cooling equipment as well as installation at no cost. You can nominate someone who you think is deserving at feelthelove.com. Nominations will be accepted through August 31st. Let's give back to our hometown heroes. Selfless neighbor, maybe who always puts everybody first. Community leaders like teachers, firefighters, and volunteers, or just families facing hard times. Whoever you think is worthy, send a nomination. As of 2024, the Feel the Love program has completed more than 350 installations with help of dealers like Care Heating and Cooling. Our friends at Lenox donate all the equipment, and Care donates the labor and materials, and the installs are done at no cost. Remember, the deadline is August 31st. Care Heating and Cooling. Call 1-800-COOLING or book an appointment online at careheatingandcooling.com when you need a company you can trust.
Evan Cohen here. Whether you're locking in your home run picks or riding with your favorite golfers this summer, ESPN Bet is your sports book for all the action. Go from checking stats on your favorite teams and players to placing bets in just a few taps. Plus, new customers can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet app and sign up with promo code USL to get started today. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
Need assistance with door and window projects? The Home Depot can help. From inspiration and materials to ordering and installation, our free millwork virtual apron service can get you moving and doing. Plus, we speak Spanish too. Our associates can help you tackle complex jobs without you leaving the job site, saving you time and money. Call us at 1-833-HD-APRON or visit homedepot.com/MVA. The Home Depot, how doers get more done.
Hey friends, it's Austin Ward, and I'm coming up on 2 full years since starting Awaken 180. Dropped 50 pounds, and I still check the scale like it owes me money. Guess what? Hasn't budged. Still under 200 pounds, still feeling great. Keeping weight off this long isn't luck or magic, it's just having the right playbook. Awaken 180 taught me exactly what works, what doesn't, and how to stay lean without the struggle. Want real, lasting results? Don't just drop the weight, retire it for good. Trust me, Awaken 180 is your winning game plan. Awaken180weightloss.com.
Another reason to choose Hinderer Motor Company for your next vehicle. This is Justin Hinderer. Every vehicle comes with a lifetime powertrain warranty, award-winning service, and our exclusive Carvenience. We pick up your vehicle, service it, and return it so you save time and enjoy peace of mind. That's Carvenience. At Hinderer Motor Company, we take care of everything so you can drive worry-free. See why we're the best choice for your next new or used car by visiting HindererMotorCompany.com.
You know, it's not the shoes. It's what you can put in them that makes all the difference. Hey, it's Anthony. I've been a customer at the Good Feet store for a while now, and I'm all about my personally fit arch supports. They support my feet better than all the insoles I've jammed into my shoes over the years. And my Good Feet arch supports help me in a ton of ways, from overall support and balance to stabilizing my heels, and the fact they distribute my body weight, especially when I'm golfing. I literally have spring in my step now. Check them out for yourself. The free fitting is designed to help them understand you, your pain, and your discomfort. It's simple. Just stop by the Good Feet store on Polaris Parkway or Stringtown Road in Grove City. You don't need an appointment, but you can certainly schedule one very easily online. Get back to living the life you love with the Good Feet store. For more than 30 years, they've taken great pleasure in helping thousands discover the comfort they've been dreaming of, just like me. Get professionally fitted at goodfeet.com.